into the internets. This is Tales from the Head. We're coming at you again, this time with a vengeance. And speaking of vengeance, this week we're going into covering our favorite teacher or teachers that potentially inspired your career. This doesn't have to be a direct relation. It could just be they jump-started a chain of events, or maybe it opened up your eyes to change something. I don't know. Were you ready on this one? Did you want me to maybe just go first?
I'm pretty much ready. I always talk about that.
To people listening, obviously we usually do our intro. Well, your maestro today, myself. Me and Danny were organically just having a nice 45-minute conversation.
Yeah.
Really good. And it definitely could have been part of the pod. So just know full well you were left out. You missed about 30 minutes of juiciness, and we're just cutting fat today. So
yeah, hey, we're just.
This is a very keto version of the episode, and I hope you guys like cauliflower because we're shoving it down your throat.
No appetizers today, homie. You're going straight for the entree. Maybe some dessert, but we're keeping it kind of.
No aperitifs, no Vaseline, whatever you want to put it. We're just giving it to you straight, raw, to the dome.
You went to McDonald's. You're just getting the number one, but you're not gonna get any extra, size. You're not gonna get an extra, 10-piece chicken nuggets or something like that.
Yeah, and guess what? And you know what else? Your order's not ready. So why don't you wait in lane 2 and we'll bring it out to you.
We'll call you.
That's the worst. And you know what? It doesn't happen a lot, but I feel like whenever I'm with Steph, and when the kids are in the car, it always happens. Like it'll be like, oh yeah, can you just wait over there? And I'm like, oh, because you never know. Like it could be 2 minutes or it could be 10 minutes.
10 minutes, yeah.
And I'm like, I never complain. I don't think I've ever complained at a fast food place. But to me, that's stupid. But it's just you're just like that uncertainty of how long is this gonna fucking take for a cheeseburger that you guys didn't just make.
You know what's funny? I remember this one time. For those familiar with downtown San Jose, I used to go to the McDonald's right there on 3rd Street.
Third. There we go. Yeah, third.
Like 3rd in San Salvador, 3rd in San Carlos.
I think it is San Carlos.
Yeah. It's no longer there, so rest in peace. They knocked it down a bunch of years ago, and now they're making it into student housing.
Yeah. So that's actually a good move. Tear McDonald's down and build student housing.
Yeah, absolutely. Great call.
Usually it's the other way around.
Yeah. I mean, San Jose State is like literally a block away also, so it's a great call. But you have to go to the sketchiest street or half a block in the whole San Jose.
Oh yeah, dude. It's funny how that campus borders so much differing neighborhoods. Like the top of the school by where Top Dog is, it's super nice. And then you just go, to 4th and 3rd Street in San Salvador, and you're already in it. You're entering West Side territory, and
it's just shadiness, especially on a Thursday, Friday, or Saturday night after midnight. That little stretch between 4th and 3rd and 3rd and 4th Street and San Carlos.
Oh yeah,
the sketchiest.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Not to call out anybody, but if you ever walk there at night after the bars or clubs to La Victoria or the Jack in the Box.
Oh yeah, dude, cops or fights or whatever.
Sketch, dude. It's been God knows how many times I've seen it on World Star, and I'm like, fuck, that place again.
Have you seen? I don't know if it was a local meme or something, but it was funny because someone posted. It was something like, if you don't know how dangerous this thing is at late at night, and it literally was a picture of the San Carlos Lavix, and in the background the Jack in the Box. Yeah, and I'm like, dude. I literally even have like an incident where I almost got in a fight with someone at that Jack in the Box late at night.
Yeah, same here.
And at the no, there's no drive-through there. No. At that Jack in the Box though, it's just trouble. People are getting out of the club. People are assholes. People are homeless.
So sketch.
It's
at
just
annoying. At any time of the day.
Yeah.
Not just at night. I mean, like the sketchiness. Like multiplies after 10 p.m.
100%.
You can go there like at 11 in the morning, and you're still out there, and you're seeing some questionable activities out there, and you're like, "Fuck."
Yeah, and dude, just right across the street, it's not even as ghetto.
No,
you got Pizza My Heart, Psycho Donuts.
Yeah, you had the Ben and Jerry's, or
Oh yeah, the
not
Froyo place or
it's no
whatever.
longer there. It's something different. But yeah, like it's funny because yeah, you go across the street and it's not that sketch,
Hmm.
and then you go even a little bit further where they have like the Phil's coffee and they have like the
Oh yeah,
Togos.
yeah. Where like that little alley thing is. The
Yeah,
like
the
McCormick.
Paseo de San Antonio, I think it's called.
Yeah.
Like the little walkway, not fucking sketch at all, but it's just
Hmm.
that little block
Hmm.
is just so like. So for all the new students who are going to be living in the new housing department where the McDonald's used to be, good luck. Best of
Yeah.
luck to you. Godspeed as you make your journey to your dorms and back.
It is a short walk though.
It is. Just get a bicycle. Everybody needs
That's
to get a
true. Just
fucking
get a
skateboard.
bike. Be smart
Everybody
on a
needs a
bike though.
fucking
People are
skateboard.
stupid on a bike. People, I see so much dumb shit, dude. People don't look.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I work in Oakland, dude. I see there was a guy today. I was driving to work, and he literally had like a limp. God knows if it's real or not, but whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I,
A little
I
pimp
want to call
walk.
him out so bad. I'm like, is that real? No, but
Yeah.
drove. I was driving past him, but he stopped everything because, of course, dude, always in Oakland, fucking idiots. No one follows pedestrian signs.
No.
Jaywalk, all that, and most of the time I don't care if you jaywalk when there's no cars. Who cares?
Yeah, it's
I know a
fine.
cop might care. I don't, but the
I don't
shit.
even think the cops cared. They're like,
Well, not
oh, fuck.
really. Like
Yeah.
most of the time they don't. If they're in like Oakland, for sure they don't. But you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But it's just like they'll do this shit on red lights. I mean, it's just they don't give a fuck. Like the bums,
Yeah.
the crackheads, the general population of Oakland. Not saying they're bums and crackheads, but they just don't give a fuck. But
Yeah.
it's just like it's frustrating, and I'm like, I know parts of San Jose are like that, especially the part you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just like I don't know, man. I people, and the main point of what I'm getting at is people just need to be more attentive. Like
Yeah.
especially young kids in college, they think, oh, it's like TV, and like I'm in college, I'm safe, everything's cool. Especially if you're a young girl, that's a good point. I say it's not that far of a walk, but if it's late at night,
It's just
that's a tough one. I
unfortunately,
got you. That's true.
unfortunately, it's just a very we live in a very scary times in society nowadays. And as far as driving, it's funny because my brother and I we were talking about this a couple days ago. How we driven in Mexico, we driven like some of the craziest driving I've ever done has been like in Tijuana, has been like in like the major cities in Mexico.
Yeah.
And it's just like everybody drives like assholes out there, like super aggressive drivers.
Hmm.
You're gonna get cut off, whatever. But what the comparison we were thinking is like I'm not really that afraid in Mexico because in Mexico everybody's driving more defensively.
Right.
Like they're more concentrated, like, oh shit, I don't want this asshole. This asshole doesn't know I'm coming up. I need to like
Yeah.
is people are not distracted because they know everybody drives like animals.
Uh-huh.
Even the people walking know that the people are
Hmm.
walking like animals, and people driving like, oh, these people are animals on their bicycles. They're gonna cut you off, so you have to be more alert.
Right.
And here it's just everybody's so distracted,
Hmm.
and then the people who are driving like fast. Everybody thinks that everybody else is not distracted. That everybody's doing their thing. So I feel like that's how more accidents happen
For
because there's
sure.
just more distractions, more things. Or in Mexico, it's just like you get cut off and like you get cut off and you honk, but not because he cut you off. You honk because you tell him, hey, hurry the fuck up, dude. Like, okay, you cut me off, all right, move. Like, what's the big ass hurry to cut me off?
Y-
So it's just
You know what
it's
it is,
different.
dude? I don't even. I think distractions are definitely part of it, but I think the main thing is, I mean, because let's be honest, Mexico has distractions. Mexico has
Oh
cell
yeah,
services.
absolutely.
They have TV just like we do. They get all the same shit. So,
Yeah.
to me, it's more or less that they're culturally more responsible for their actions.
Yeah, I think so.
Like, I've noticed that with every country, not every country, but a lot of countries, especially a lot of considered third world countries,
Mm-hmm.
because the people understand what they need to do because they have to be self sufficient. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, the government's not taking care of them. Things aren't working out for them. They have to do this for themselves, including survive and be smart because they don't rely. They're kind of old school, which I appreciate about countries because they just rely on what works instead of we've become so dumbed down, and I don't even know. It's like we implore them to treat us like morons, but then we get mad that they treat us like morons. It's just insane
Yeah.
what we put ourselves through as citizens of this country. Like
Yeah.
we make the system. I mean, we don't completely make it, but we play into the game of the system, and then we are like, yeah, it's not working. But it's like, yeah, but like, yeah, once again, it's just like, why are we one of the most strongest world powers? You know, one of the smartest countries in the world, yet just completely oblivious to what's going on. And
Yeah.
it's the same now. Like we're oblivious to things that matter, and we're obsessed with things that don't.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because we're being conditioned by our distractions. And I feel like a lot of other countries are in that boat too, but I think we're just so glued to our distractions, maybe because I think a lot of people are comfortable here
Yeah.
and maybe are hustling as hard as as hard as they think they are. Like we're hustling like Americans hustle, but
Yeah.
we ain't doing no immigrant hustle. Like not all of us are doing that immigrant hustle out here, you know?
Uh,
So like I kind of feel like that's some of it. You know, the people that
somebody.
are really hustling,
Mm-hmm.
aren't the idiots.
I remember Mexico City. I was taking Uber. An Uber was taking us, I don't know, somewhere, and he's like, "Oh, where you from?" And I'm like, "Oh, California." It's like, "Oh, shit." How so? First, you're pretty much telling the information that they tell you not to tell people from Mexico
Yeah,
City. Like, oh yeah, first time Mexico City, blah blah blah. Oh no, we don't have no family. Like shit that we
my
shouldn't be
parents are
saying.
rich. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I got like over $1,000 in my pocket now. Like shit. Shit that you're not supposed to be saying. But then he goes, you know what, gringo? Because that's if you're American, they
Yeah,
just call you gringo.
you're white basically.
Yeah, yeah. He goes, you know what? I've never been. I've been to the United States before. I've been visiting. I lived there for like 2 or 3 years. I didn't like it. He's like, yeah, you make more money and stuff. So, but the quality of life is not there. Like everybody's such in a hurry. Everybody's stressing about
Hmm.
everything. So you think he's sabes que gringo? You think that you're free over there in the United States? Like, no, you're not really free. You're free here. Like in Mexico,
Yeah.
you want real freedom? Come in Mexico. And I'm like, the fuck you're talking about? And as I grow older and I think about, I'm
Hmm.
like, nah, that guy was probably right. Like, it's just like it's more the pressures of like not. I feel like here in the United States, everybody's like ready to like cut anybody's throat to like get ahead.
Yeah, I mean
And
but
yeah,
that's kind of been our thing, man. We're the land of opportunity, and
yeah,
it's always been that way. And I mean, look how many and I mean that guy's not wrong. He's just
yeah,
saying basically like that's not where I'm at in my life anymore. And
yeah, exactly.
um, but think about how many like there's the flip side to it too, and think about how many people are supporting their families
Oh yeah,
with the job
absolutely.
out. I mean that's the thing. And that's true. That's kind of what we are. We're like America's like the opportunity. Like you could either be an average to decent person, or you could be hugely successful. And
Yeah,
because of that margin, it's so attractive, right?
yeah.
It's like
It's a
everyone has
gamble.
that American dream in the back of their head, you know?
Absolutely, I still have it.
I mean, dude, I feel like we're living it right now with what
Yeah,
we're doing right now. We
absolutely.
already have jobs, and we were able to create potentially our careers with the moves we're making right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's I mean absolutely 100%. America's still going to be America. But yeah, I think you nailed it when you said it's not, maybe that person is not in that phase in his life no more.
Hmm.
And I feel like I'm not in that, I'm not with that mentality anymore, like, business and hustle and
Oh yeah, dude.
I think once this is why I really hate those memes that like rich people think, educate them, they read books rather than watch TV kind of bullshit. And
Yeah.
I'm like, well, define rich. Like, is it money? That they have access to all, it's having a yacht, having a fucking private jet.
Right,
That's
and that's
that's
all
success.
subjective, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, a year ago, I could have been year and a half ago. I could have been the richest person in the world. It still wouldn't change the fact that I was miserable.
Oh, dude, yeah. I mean, you could have won the lottery. You might still be because We have all learned this, dude. Rich people still kill themselves. Rich people still fall
Yeah,
into depression. I mean, rock
absolutely.
stars and all that
I
shit. I
mean,
mean, we're all
our
human, you know?
our fucking my greatest hero, Robin Williams. Look at him. Self-doubtedly one of the richest person, most successful, you
Yeah.
know, careers,
I
and
mean,
he was
worldwide
happy.
recognized.
Absolutely. Chester from Lincoln Park,
Yeah,
Chris
Chris
Cornell.
Cornell.
I mean, the list just goes on
And I
forever.
mean,
And
even though it wasn't suicide, Scott Weiland, I think he had an OD.
yeah,
Dude from
but
you
I
know, a lot of
mean,
shit happens.
look at Chris Farley.
Yeah. Same with
Yeah,
Belushi
yes,
too.
I'm like, yeah, he died of an overdose, but deep down
Oh,
inside, he was depressed. It was
oh hell
depression.
yeah. All the greats, dude. Pryor,
Yeah,
Carlin, I mean, all great comedians, all great comedy comes from great misery. It's
yeah,
crazy. The more you learn about people you really look up to, how miserable they are. And the thing that's crazy, and that kind of goes into our last episode, but it's just how well they can compose themselves. Like
yeah.
you look at these people and you're so intimidated and idolized and you just like froth at the mouth at how cool and big they are to you. And then at the end of the day, you'll realize, oh wait, I know it sounds cliche, but it's like, oh wait, that's me. And one
Mm-hmm.
day, if we reach that success level, people are going to be thinking that about us as well. And we won't
Yeah,
get it either because we're always going to be us. We're never going to
yeah.
probably feel like what we really are.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, unless you're like Kanye level, maybe,
Yeah.
where it's like you're in a magazine and, talked about from everyone. But you
But
got
we're
to,
pretty humble.
yeah. Well,
We're
we,
humble.
we are pretty humble, but I also feel like, we got to own that. We got to own that and celebrate that success too. And not that we
Absolutely.
don't, but I think we got to remind ourselves of that too. Because it's good to
Yeah.
be humble, but you got to fucking celebrate those wins because you ain't going to get wins all the time,
Yeah.
dude.
That's true.
And it might be 10 years till you get another one. So enjoy the
Yeah.
shit out of that win while you got it.
And I think that's been one of the issues, during my road of, mental wellness and stuff is I don't give myself so much credit.
Hmm.
Like I was like people tell me like, whoa, it's like Daniel, you're doing the career that you always, that you thrive for, and you're really successful in it. And I was gonna do it right now. I was just gonna tell you right now, like people are telling me like you're successful in your career, and
Yeah.
I was just gonna say I don't feel like I'm successful,
Right.
but this is the same thing.
Uh
Like
huh.
it's just I pretty much just prove myself. Like in my mind, it's like no, I'm not that successful as a teacher. Like, oh, Danny, you're doing so well with the L3 pod. And oh, Danny, Tales from the Head is, man, so good. Like, we're like, you and Coop have great. And I'm like, oh, I'm like, cool. We're just
Uh
buddies.
huh.
Like, I don't
Yeah.
think so much about it.
Right.
And, like, I just don't give myself enough credit. And and yeah, sometimes you do have to, like, go, be, not brag about it, but kind of like acknowledge your
Yes.
accomplishments
Yeah.
and kind of
Exactly.
like savor the moment.
Celebrate.
Yeah.
Well.
Like, dude, like random people on, well, I wouldn't say random people, but like my people on Twitter who I thought was just listening to it through the soccer podcast are like, oh man, tell your buddy Coop that he shouldn't be ashamed of listening to like
Oh
George
yeah, George
Michaels or
Michael.
something, or like Gloria Stefan's like, oh, that shit still slams. I'm like,
Hell
oh
yeah.
shit, you heard the whole episode? Or
Yeah,
like,
because that was at a random point. It wasn't like at the
yeah,
beginning or the middle.
yeah, or like my friend Hector, shout out to my buddy Hector. Like I forgot what I was talking about, but I mispronounced something, and he goes, and this is like 2 hours into the podcast, and he goes, typical Danny, like mispronouncing like a word or saying another word that shouldn't be, and I'm like, fuck, do you listen to like the whole
I
episode?
know,
Like,
isn't that a great compliment? Because in your head you're like, "Fuck you," and then you're like, "Oh wait, you listened to the episode."
yeah, and I'm just like, I'm kind of like sit back. I'm like, dude, like I get as a friend, like, yeah, you hit the like button, you follow it on Instagram, but like actually listen to him, like that's a huge deal, dude. So
Oh yeah.
and it's a huge, like they'll listen to it, once or twice because they're your friends.
Yeah,
But
exactly. And then
here
that's
we
it.
are in what episode 20 now, or what
This is
episode are we
episode.
in now?
This could be episode 23. This
See,
is the Michael
and
Jordan episode.
whoop, whoop, this is the MJ one.
I
The
wasn't
goat,
planning on
if you will.
talking about anything Michael Jordan.
But no, we did.
Let's talk about his
Um,
gambling problems. No, I'm kidding.
oh, his smoking problem also apparently. No,
Nice.
my only problem with Michael Jordan is this horrible acting.
Oh, dude, we've got. Well, I don't think we've done it on here yet.
No, but
I
it's
am in
gonna happen
100% agreement with you. He is a god awful actor, but he's a superstar. He doesn't need to be good.
No, but you know what? Stay in your lane, bro. Stay in your lane.
Oh, 100%. But
Oh shit, my bad. All right, my bad.
what?
No, I was trying to put my water and it kind of like tapped my stand and then like give a little static with my
Dude, don't worry. I was
Good.
picking up my mug and I was whacking the freaking boom pole. Whacking a pole. How appropriate.
Hey.
Well, it is Friday night. Yeah, that kind of, we are talking about the American dream. We're talking about our success, and it really does tie into. I'm gonna get to our theme after this, but me and Danny have been, and a couple of our friends, or a few of our friends are planning a hugely awesome project coming out in the next few weeks.
Yeah.
We've been pretty busy with this pre-production of it, getting things set up. We're really, I mean, I shouldn't say we. I'm really excited,
Yeah.
and I think everyone's going to be really stoked for it too. We can't really disclose much now, but when this comes out, details will be probably shortly revealed, and we will start plugging and hyping this project for you guys. I kind of just wanted to get some buzz going, get you guys asking questions. Hey, if you got any questions, please feel free to email us at tfthpod@gmail.com. We are here to answer those in any way, shape, or form. And in some cases, we might be a little inebriated. But
Yeah. There's no other way.
it's going to be a fun project. It's funny. It's too, I was looking forward to hyping this, and I'm like, it's not like I signed an NDA, but I don't want to I don't want to throw too much out there, but
Yeah.
let's just say there's going to be a few of us. It's going to be kind of not a panel, but it's going to be somewhat of a variety theme kind of thing.
Maybe?
A round table is a good way of putting it.
Yeah.
A lot of thought and a lot of work's going into this. This is probably I'm not downplaying our system here, but this is one of my first podcasts I've done with a co-host.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not like, although I consider us professional and we do it professionally, like,
Yeah.
our production planning is somewhat on a simple level.
Yeah.
Which is fine because, like I said, we're on episode 23. Like, we're getting our footing. We're learning this too.
Mm-hmm.
But this new project coming out, I mean, the amount of work that's being put into it, there's a lot of pride going into this project, and this is a big deal. I mean, when it was brought to me to join in on this, I was months ago. I was really, really excited, and I told Steph. I didn't tell a lot of people, but I told Steph, and I was like, dude, I feel finally like things are clicking, things are moving in. Holy shit, opportunities coming. Like, consistency paid off. Everything everyone was telling me is true.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, at the end of the day, like, I'm not here to talk numbers, but we don't have crazy numbers.
Yeah.
But once again, we're not doing this just for the numbers, just for the money, obviously. But our consistency since August, dude, has gotten us, some, like you said, you've gotten some feedback. Like-minded folks are watching what we're doing. And, then, we got work ethic, bro.
Yeah.
We got chemistry and we got work ethic. And those are two things that can't be taught. So let's give a round of applause to ourselves for putting forth some effort, and
Since we're in this
hustling, dude.
Hold on, let me do this. There it is.
Oh, shit. Little clap hands. Hell yeah.
That ties into.
Dude, I'm such a boomer.
teaching.
How the hell do you do that?
So if you scroll, oh my god, if you
It's
scroll
reactions.
Down, yeah.
Okay, I got
reactions.
it. I want to do party.
Celebrate
Yeah.
good times.
Come on.
Someone, Hey, people from Sim, if you're listening to this, if y'all can, no, actually, no, that's a horrible
No,
idea.
no, don't even tell him. Because if you're not watching this, then you don't deserve to know what's going on.
No, but I was just thinking in my classroom, like if they were, if they add like an audio sample to like,
Yeah.
I'm like, no, this my students will just go ape shit with it, dude.
Oh, they didn't annoy the fuck out of you.
Oh,
So that
but
dude, you can have nothing but like eggplants on your face or something.
dude, I will have. Well, I mean, I'll turn off the emojis and I'll turn off the sound effects
Yeah.
on the options
You
like
just
within the
hear
first 5 minutes. I'll
you
be
just
like, all
hear
right.
like random sound effects. You just hear like Deuce Bigelow drops like that's a huge bitch.
Oh shit, dude, that's the greatest quote ever, dude. That's a huge bitch.
Yeah. Smells like Bigfoot's dick.
Um, my favorite quote is with the heavy set woman who goes, "Did you say steak?
Oh
Man,
yeah.
you got me all
Oh, because he said
excited."
mistake.
Yeah, she goes, "Did you say steak? Now you got me all excited." I'm
Do
like,
you know what's
yes.
funny? I know so many quotes in that movie. I've never seen it all the way through.
Really?
Yeah, I've never seen European Gigolo. Dude, isn't that
No.
weird?
I've never seen European Gigolo, but I have seen Deuce Bigelow
Nail
like
Jig. Yeah,
2 or 3 times.
I've seen The
And
Animal. Why have I seen that over Deuce Bigelow? That was probably his worst movie.
I seen and was the hot chick was another one
I
that was
like The
good.
Hot Chick though.
That was
It's
good.
stupid, but I liked it.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's Rob Schneider. It's the Happy Gilmore or the Happy Madison production. So
Yeah.
it's the what do you expect? But
Well, I kind of hogged the hype on. Was there anything you kind of wanted to talk about for the new project a little bit?
oh, I'm
Some of your
just
excitement?
excited. I'm excited for it. When the idea was pitched into me, typical. When there was a new idea, I'm just like, oh yeah, sure, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do it. Thinking not much of it, and then getting the ball rolling, and then being pitched. I'm like, yeah, dude, let's do it. I'm gonna let's do it. I told our mutual friend, I'm like, well, to be honest, dude, like I already have, my teaching career. I got the L3. I got tells. I don't know if I like how much my commitment will be to it. I'm like, I can probably promise like 60% commitment. And he goes, Danny, I need 80%. I need minimum 80% commitment from you. I'm like, you know what, dude? Fuck it. It's all or nothing. I'm in.
You know.
I'm in. And
Yeah.
I'm excited doing the and it sucks because like I'm not very active with the pre-production like pre-production,
Uh.
but once we go in for like our meetings about the project, like I'm in, I'm there, and I'm like, yeah, let's do this. I'm in, I'm excited for it, and
Oh yeah.
I think people will love it because we this panel already built up the chemistry. We already build up kind of like what we want, and we have very similar ideology,
Mm-hmm.
very similar humor. So
And we're all kind of different too.
yeah, so and that's a testament of our friendship and
Mm-hmm.
just the group of people we hang out with.
Oh, 100%, dude. And like,
Everybody's 100% different, but we all kind of like it works.
but that's what you need, dude, because it's like if all the Power Rangers were one color, it's not very useful. So,
No,
and that's not even a race thing. Like we all bring something completely creatively different, but
yeah,
we all likewise are zen. Like we're just lined up, like it makes sense. It doesn't feel like we're like you said, chemistry's already there, dude, and that's such a
Mhm.
hard thing to get with
yeah,
a show. And like I said earlier before I was recording, I'm like, man, like it's good stress, dude, because like I feel
yeah,
like I'm making moves, like I'm telling Steph, I'm like, man, I finally feel like I'm making moves, and it's all how you do it. You know, you
yeah,
I always for the longest time I was always down feeling like, fuck, man, like things aren't working out. I see all these other people doing things and working, and I'm like, there's the key word though. They're working. Like Steph's little brother, he organically grew like a huge following for his videography stuff. I mean, he's so
mhm,
good, man. And like 6 years ago, 4 years ago, we got married. He didn't even record our wedding. Like, sorry, I did that because my focus was off.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
He didn't even record our wedding. He wasn't even doing that stuff yet. He wasn't even doing photography yet. So he's created this brand in less than 4 years that, in my opinion, I mean, dude, he just recently put out. His name's Michael June Vallejo, but he just recently put out like a trailer he made in Santa Cruz of this guy biking, and dude, the way he edited and put it all together was so like movie-esque cinematography. I was just like,
Mhm.
I hit him up and I wrote on there. I was like, dude, your transitions are like flawless, and like this is like the cleanest composition I've seen from you. Like this is amazing. And it's just like he consistently built up projects. He put them out. He was the one who even told me, because I was like, yeah, dude, I'm like with Stoop Kid. I was like, fuck, dude, I'm like running out of ways to feel like I'm marketing. Like I don't really know what to like put out on YouTube. And he's all, dude, just make clips.
Yeah.
And that's what everyone was doing at the time. But he's just a really smart and shout out to Michael June, because, you know, not only is he my little brother, but he was also my first podcast guest for the Stoop Kid podcast. I mean,
Right.
without him, I don't know, I probably wouldn't be here either. You know, I got to give that respect to my first guest too. And I'm always, you know, always have love for my family for supporting me. But, you know, we're going to be moving on to another project, but we're not moving away from this one or anything else that we're currently doing. We're basically just increasing our workload and getting an opportunity that is going to be huge for us. So
absolutely.
I am super excited. I can't wait to actually start disclosing information, but you know, hey, a week ain't that far away.
No, it's patience.
Yeah, and let's just say maybe potentially your buddy Coop could be potentially the one writing the theme song.
Hey, that's what I heard.
We'll see.
That's what I heard. I believe it was part of the contract also.
Oh yeah, shit.
The
NDA?
Yeah. It was part of the writer.
I don't know what you're talking about.
No, but
yeah.
But I'm excited, dude. And like, yeah, you're talking about your little brother or your brother-in-law, Mike over here, about just like working on it. And yeah, like I remember going back when, you know, L3 kind of stopped. It took a little hiatus for like 10 months, whatever. Um, and once we started talking about, okay, for reals, let's start it again. Let's do it. You know, we went to pre-production again, how we're gonna come back, and I started listening to like episode 1 and 2 of like the L3, like one of my first episodes of like that I ever like podcast. It was horrible. It was so harsh. I listened to the episode of Stoop Kid with me also, and it was so like, oh god, it's just so like horrible. But like we started listening to like episode 80 of like the L3, and it's just like you can just tell, like, I'm not saying I'm a professional podcaster or anything, but like the experience was there.
Well, practice this, Danny, instead of, because I preface things a lot. So do this, because you kind of did it again. You're talking about what you're doing, and then you kind of backpedaled and slapped yourself.
Yeah.
So just be like, yo, you know, just go forward.
Yeah, and it's
you
hard
got it.
Because it's like
I know
mindset, dude. But like after listening to like the 60 or 80 episode of the L3, I'm like, okay, I learned my podcasting voice. You know, then doing the Stoop Kid. I'm then doing Tales from the Head.
Right.
You know, same thing. Like there's more opportunities to be talking. You know, the tone and everything. And then helping my buddies over at the Fourth Kind podcast setup. And my buddy Jesus goes like, dude, Danny, like I would love for you to stick around and help and be a part of this project, because it's like you have that voice, you project it perfectly, and you know you just you know how to, like, we pick a subject and then you know how to carry on a conversation.
Right.
I'm telling like, yeah, it's because it's been God knows how many episodes I've already done of podcasting.
Oh yeah, dude.
Guessing, so you kind of know what to expect, dude, and it's great. Like, yeah, you have to be patient. You know, L3 we're going on almost 3 years since we started the L3, and finally good things are happening. Well, I'm not saying finally good things are happening, because things were always happening, but now we're getting like we're moving up on the next level, and it feels awesome. That hard work, it's finally paying off, and you know we're moving a step forward to the proper way, and I'm pretty sure Tales from the Head, same thing will happen.
Oh
and then
yeah.
this new project, same thing. Like,
well, I mean, I'm proud of you, man, and holy shit, me doing the Stoop Kid podcast solo last year, I think is part of the reason why Daryl hit me. Oh, there it goes. Spilled some names, but Daryl hit me up, and Um, who knows, dude? Because when I was doing that, I was at a low point too, and I was at a low point creatively because I was getting bored. I was struggling to the point where I was just the only host, so it was a lot. I just wanted to be interesting. I didn't want to be boring. I didn't have anyone to play off of, you know. So you're kind of
Yeah.
ranting. So I was going through points where I was getting depressed, and I was like, "You're not interesting. You're trying to do what everyone else is doing. You got to find something different." And I think as much as that voice was toxic, there was some truth to it.
Some
Um,
reality to it.
there was, man, and I think that reality is what turned me on to do this project. And in my eyes, this is what I said to myself. I said, I'm going to take this project very serious, which is Tales from the Head. And then I'm going to make a deal with myself to, because I think I did 27 episodes of Stoop Kid. I said, I want to get to episode 27 on Tales, and then I wanted to restart the Stoop real time. And basically, my plan is Tales is Tales. It's me and you. Probably never going to
Yeah.
do guests. Maybe we will. But
Mm-hmm.
Um, I like what we got going. It's simple. It works. And then Stoop will probably just be my more interview, freeform kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think that would be good, kind of, because that's how it started. So I kind of like that theme. It was fun finding people I want to talk to. Which, by the way, Tails and this new project is going to help me with that as well.
Yeah.
We're gonna get people to, we're gonna build relationships. We're gonna open a lot of opportunities, man, and that's why I'm excited for this next one too, because it's kind of falling in line of my dream job. I got like I got like a few dream jobs, but you know, stand-up comedy, food tester, professional musician. I mean, I got all these
Yeah.
pipe dreams, but obviously one of them too is like I love sports radio.
Yeah.
And I don't know a lot of people that do. I mean, obviously you guys probably like it, but I got
We.
this. Yeah, I got this. I just it entertains me and I love it. And I idolize a certain show. I really like 95.7 The Game's got a really good
Yeah.
midday show that I love. Damon Ratto and Kolsky. And Ray Ratto is just one of, I think it's because resonate, me and him resonate together. Like, I say it like we've hung out, but very like spirit animal kind of guy. Like,
Okay.
kind of grumpy, very informative, and very opinionated. And I'm like, dude, if we ever hung out, like, I would hope that we could be cool because I just
Yeah.
feel like he's like kind of my. I look up to him as far as a sports journalist too. But
Mm-hmm.
anyway, this opportunity reminded me of that, and I'm just like, dude, whenever you get close to something you idolize, I think you definitely have to seize it. So I'm proud of us for having an open mind, having the balls to want to take on something new on top of
Yeah.
everything we're doing. We have nine to
Fair enough.
fives, guys.
Yeah.
We don't we don't just have passion projects. Like, we work regular jobs. We have families like everyone else. We have bills to pay, and we have like 3 side hustles now that are
Dude.
legitimate, not our illegal things.
Yeah. No. Like. No. And it's funny and it's having that healthy balance. And I think like I sit back and I kind of like reflect of all the things I have going on, and I'm like, it's all work, but it's about finding balance. And for me, it's just feeling like creative,
Hmm.
like yeah, I have my regular 9 to 5, which is more like 9 to 9 to be
Right,
honest,
for sure.
with teaching. And then you have your family also. That's a huge responsibility, and you have
Hmm.
that's a big thing. So that's going on. We have our regular lives. I have L3, Tales from the Head, this new project, helping out with my buddies over at the
Hmm.
fourth kind, and making sure they know how to grow, or how to grow and what to do before I kind of like, all right, bro, so like I'm gonna let you guys go do your thing now. I'm gonna
Right.
be over here. And then I mean, I have the music also going. I have my band with like my buddy Ray
Hmm.
and my buddy Josue and Augustine. And so like that's also going. Granted, we haven't jammed in a couple of months because of COVID, but like that's still gonna happen,
Yeah.
Like, so that's another hustle. And then yeah, it's just all these different things, but it's just being keeping a balance. And like for me it works, like just being active and feeling like I'm creating something,
Yeah.
like finding a purpose, if you will. And
Yeah.
is
Yeah, definitely.
and it's funny because I was telling this to somebody like, all my life I want to be a musician. I
Hmm.
want to be. I'm a horrible artist. I'm a horrible drawer. I can't sing. I cannot write a song at all. I can barely get by playing guitar and bass, but barely. And yet, I've always wanted to play like music. Yet the most successful project I have is my podcasting.
Hmm.
My two podcasts I have, that's been like the most successful, most consistent. And it's funny how things don't work out how you always plan them to be,
Yeah.
but like it's that creative outlet, I think, that allows us, that really finds us, that really helps us, stay sane. Because I don't know about you, but I'm assuming you stopped doing Stoop Kid around what, like August of 2019 maybe.
So yeah, I went on my first hiatus around September,
Yeah.
because well, that was when I was dealing with all that stuff live in the flesh with my mom,
Yeah.
and then didn't start back up until I did a couple episodes for like within 3 months, which is terrible, and then I think I started back up in like during the pandemic because I was home
Mm-hmm.
working from home. And I thought I'll do a weekly show again, and I was doing solo. I think I did like 5 or 6 episodes by myself,
Mm-hmm.
and they were okay. It was good. It's topical, but it just didn't feel. It was getting stale, and I mean, if I wouldn't have stopped and us talked, we wouldn't evolve to do this. This is
Yeah.
gonna in turn help me be better with that. Now this gave us an opportunity for our next step. I mean, it's so cool how the universe works. Like, we go through modes where, I mean, this whole project came out of a low, and that's the beauty of life. This whole project
Mm-hmm.
came out of a low point. Some could argue,
Yeah.
in some ways, maybe lowest or very low.
Yeah.
And somehow we were able to turn it into something that's giving us an opportunity.
Yeah.
And
Like,
and if that's not the American dream, I
no,
don't know
I don't
what
know what
is,
it is.
dude. Holy
Yeah.
shit.
No, because I finished L3, took a hiatus in September.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, not doing uncertainty about L3 coming back, uncertainty with my personal life, and my uncertainties with my professional life,
Right.
those just kind of crumbled. And for like that 10 months until we started talking about it again, like, I don't know, end of June, early July, when we started talking about, okay, let's really start again. That's when I started feeling better, as an outlet. And then, of course, um, we started Tells a month later, and it gave me that channel to kind of like just express how I felt, and like just being honest with myself and people listening, like, hey, this is what's going on, this is things that bother me, you know and it it's become an outlet. And here we are, like, what, fucking 4 or 5 months later, and we're still doing it, and it feels like we just started last week.
Well, we're busier. People have
Yeah.
said, including Daryl. I mean, we sound different than we sounded when we started. It's just this is all just good things, and we're doing this for ourselves. We're doing this to inspire others, and this is inspirational because we have direct proof and evidence that consistency and hard work really does pay off, guys. And it's annoying sometimes to hear people say the same thing over and over again, but you know what? Go out and do it yourself. Go out and try it, because you'll see
Yeah.
finally, okay, this isn't just smoke being blown up my ass. This isn't just that shit, this inspirational poster waiting in the doctor's
Yeah.
office. Like, there's some clout to this, dude. Like, hard work and dedication, dude.
And this is a perfect segue to our topic today.
Yep.
What inspire our careers. I had my mid-year check-in with my principal on Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey Daniel, how's it going? Blah blah blah. And he asked me, like, hey, okay, how's this year going? And I told him, you know what, 100% better. I'm like, 100% better. And I told him, like, I was hiding these feelings from everybody. I'm like, a year ago, told him a year ago, I was my lowest point. I told him
Mhm.
like I convinced myself that this world was better without me. Like I convinced myself that I peaked and I reached my potential, and why wait 30, 40 years for death? I'll just end it right now because there's it's
Yeah.
not going to get better. In my mind, that made sense.
Yeah.
I told him that I'm all, and with quarantine, it was like a blessing. Like I was able to go through emotions, dude. I was able to stay in my room, fucking cry all day if I wanted to, feel shitty for myself,
Yeah.
you know, and I was able to just release that emotion without having to hide it.
Hmm.
I went to therapy, and and it sounds so cliche. It sounds like the fucking Pinterest posters, but I worked on myself.
Yeah.
Like I started doing the meditation, I started doing my journaling, I started doing my breathing techniques, my walks, and like it felt better. And yeah, like I'm not saying, oh, I'm gonna go walk a mile and I'm gonna be fucking happy. No,
Yeah.
you gotta like stay
Yeah. Yeah.
consistent on it. You have to like work on yourself and really pinpoint what is it that's bothering you, and what it is that's holding you back. And like I think because I was able to come back, and I told him like I came back, I was 100% confident again in my teaching, 100%, all in for my curriculum that I'm teaching. And I told him like, and it feels great, man. And I'm like, and it feels amazing that when I'm being observed by my colleagues and stuff, they're like, hey, we can tell this guy is like the real deal. Like we can tell. And now like, different opportunities are opening up, dude. Like we're talking about open up a ethnic studies course in my high school,
Oh, cool.
which I have. I did a bunch of training through UC Berkeley. With it, I was actually on the board creating and testing curriculum.
Oh shit.
So
Yeah.
yeah, and now I'm finally maybe start my own, and I'll write this whole new curriculum for it, and I'm excited for it.
Dude, you're
And
basically building the program.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That's
Exactly. So
huge.
my principal's like, yeah, dude. He's like, well, I mean, not know six exact word. He's pretty professional, but he's like, absolutely. He's like, we have trust. And you, my manager today, my supervisor's like, dude, if it, if it wasn't, you have these big time teachers, you have the principal, you have the vice principals,
Mhm.
the head of, history saying like, yeah, this is the perfect guy for like ethnic studies.
Hell yeah.
He's like, yeah, we have trust in you, and just like hearing that now, it's just so reassuring. Than a year ago when I was like, I told my principal like, honestly, dude, a year ago I didn't care. I stopped caring about my job. I stopped caring because I was miserable. I'm like, and now like I relearned my passion for teaching, and I love it, and I want to go back into teaching in the classroom so I can just prove not to my to everybody else, but prove to myself that I can still do this, and I'm
Mhm.
still proud of it. So yeah, I'm excited for what future events might bring in the next school year. So
Hell yeah.
bring it, dude. I'm excited for it. But it was just like such an amazing thing to hear about. And I know it's cliche, like, oh, I worked on myself and I focus on me. And I know it's so fucking dumb, but it's so fucking real, dude.
Yeah.
It's so fucking true.
I mean, it's only dumb because we're being vulnerable and we feel susceptible to judgment, and I get that because
Yeah.
I do it too. But, you know, and I know what you mean. It's more of a figure of speech.
Hmm.
But it's like, it's just like, dude, all these things that you're doing, like it's adding up to things. And I feel like where our dots are connecting a little more for us, and
Yeah.
sometimes do you want to hear cliche? Sometimes to get to heaven, you got to go through hell, dude. And
Yeah.
2019 kind of was part of our hell
Yeah.
that groomed us and guided us into what we're doing now. And hey, man, whoever or whatever that is that helped us out, that's awesome. And I'm glad it
Yeah.
linked us up again because, we've always been homies and stuff, but it's like, weird how things work, man. I love there's times, during the week I'm like mad at the world, mad at society and all this shit.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's a lot of moments like this and just reminders in life that, sometimes we need to be a little more fair about the way we look at things because, especially with our news, it's
Yeah.
not a fair take on what's going on. And it's become so bad to the point where it's almost fear propaganda. And I know things are happening, but things are also being blown out of proportion and thrown at us in a way to make us freak out.
I mean, that's been the American way since the 30s or 40s. Just
Yeah, but now it's in
fear.
everyone's phones and in your face
Yeah.
24 hours a day, so it's a little different.
Yeah.
Now it's kind of more like we got, we need to be more proactive about canceling out the noise.
Yeah.
And that's another thing we need to work on because it's not going to change. It's only going to get more and more invasive. So
Mm-hmm.
luckily we came from the old school where we were around before cell phones.
Yeah.
So I feel like this move for us isn't going to be hard. This move for the generation now and the one right after us that's
Yeah.
glued to all this shit, it's going to be a lot harder for them to discipline themselves. But I've noticed that too with the last few weeks, even though like every once in a while, I know you can't keep your heads in the sand, but I've noticed when I take things with grains of salt and don't necessarily just dive full into some of this stuff, I'm a lot happier.
Yeah.
Like I can be informed, but not. I can be informed of what's going on, but I don't need to be educated or versed in it. If that makes
Yeah.
sense. And I
Yeah.
feel like
Yeah.
we've kind of become obsessive with our information. I mean, obviously, because we have access to it, but I feel like we've even become obsessive with our news, and I don't think that's the right way to approach it unless you're actually involved in the industry itself,
Mm-hmm.
because that stress is just gonna carry on you and just weigh so heavy. But
Yeah.
you know,
And I don't want to sound so like negative about it, but at the end of the day, it's like you can be informed and you can panic about what the future brings, but it's inevitable sometimes.
yeah,
You
exactly that
know,
too.
there, and then at the end of the day, you cannot be responsible for the actions of others.
Hmm.
You just have to focus on yourself. And with the current climax of the United States and like, oh, there's gonna be civil war and all this
I mean,
shit.
that's the Civil War thing has been talked about for a long time.
And I'm
That's
like,
still the up in the air argument, but yeah, I know.
and I'm like, oh, they're gonna, on the 20th when Joe Biden gets sworn in, there's gonna be attacks all over the federal buildings. I'm like, really, dude? I'm like, let's be
Oh,
realistic
Danny,
about this.
I got some weird information that some conspiracy I could share with you. That's the
Oh,
new
I'm
one.
pretty sure. But here's my thing.
But
It's
yeah,
like, okay, I'm like, all right. Let's be realistic. A bunch of like a quote unquote militia is gonna go and take over the federal buildings and stuff. Like if the United States don't have those weapons, like if the military don't have those guns already, they don't have those weapons, and then some. Like if they don't have no fucking drones and tanks and
yeah.
airplanes and Apache helicopters, how realistically,
Hmm.
how far is your quote unquote revolution gonna go in today's society versus the army? So I'm
Well,
like, you can freak out about it, but hey, maybe don't go around those areas on the 20th. Stay home
true. No, exactly.
and
But
get water.
to give you a better idea of about a revolution, yes, you're right. If the government has the power to take the military with them, then you're right.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing you got to remember, dude, is the military is comprised of individuals like me and you as well.
Mm-hmm.
So not everyone's going to be a bootlicker that's just like, yeah, cool, you told me what to do, I'm going to follow it. Nah.
Yeah.
So that's the thing, too. And that's kind of what I was talking to you guys about last week. I said, Civil War is a funny thing, but we don't even know who the sides are yet.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
one, that has to be determined. I mean, this is going to take time. And obviously, I'm not saying you're saying it's going to happen tomorrow, but that's kind of always my thing. This is same as this whole QAnon conspiracies that have been happening all the year that have been proven wrong left and right. Like I said, I'm a conspiracy theorist,
Yeah.
but I am not a QAnon or an Antifa one. I am so in the middle, just politically as well. I don't like. There's no room for politics with conspiracies.
Yeah.
Conspiracies literally question everything. And then I've noticed recently there's been a lot of conservative conspiracies and liberal conspiracies, and it's like conspiracies are conspiracies.
Yeah.
There's no way you even need to put a twist of politics in it. It just cracks me up. But anyway,
Yeah.
dude, it's gotten so weird, man. I mean, like right now, I can tell you right now, and we'll jump into the subject. But a lot of people think that I've been reading up on. I don't know if any of this is true. See, that's what I like doing. I like sharing information, but I will never claim that I know it's true or think it is true. I always share this information for what it is, which is just information. It's not facts. It's speculatory, and I don't even think it's based on facts. So
You're not even saying you might.
this is
disagree with
about
it
as
true.
credible as a bathroom conversation. So
Okay.
what they're saying is potentially going to happen is, and this isn't the same people that thought like President Trump was going to take all the liberal, gather up all the Democrats and bring them up on pedophile charges, because that didn't happen either. So the thing they're saying is January 20th obviously is the inauguration, which I agree. I still don't understand why they're doing one. With, once again, it's just hard for me to believe accidents happen when this Capitol invasion still doesn't sit with me right. I think it was planned. I don't believe our security. I mean, you got 20,000 troops after the fact chilling in D.C. right now.
Yeah. And there's just.
But you didn't have enough security when there was people rallying. I mean, none of it makes sense. I don't care what anyone thinks. It doesn't make sense. And then you had a problem. Now, so many people thought there was going to be a problem on the 6th. Everyone kind of saw that coming. Well, the Capitol didn't. And then what are they going to do? Well, this is smart. Let's do the inauguration as well. Like, both sides politically are creating tension.
Mm-hmm.
Not a good thing. You also are dealing with a pandemic, so people don't need to all be there.
Yeah.
If the liberals want to give conservative shit for their Republican conventions, then this is the same thing. It's like, why is it always like this? It's like, this is why I give people shit for being on part of either side, because I'm like, literally, the way I look at it is Democrats and Republicans are in business to keep each other in business.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It is literally positive, negative, yin yang, because it's literally like, I'm here to be the opposition. I'm here to be devil's advocate for you. And that's how it's always felt for me. So I'm like, none of that has my interest in mind. So that's why I laugh, because, I mean, I have family that's guilty of both sides, and I just laugh because I'm like, I don't know how much more information we need to figure out we need something different.
Yeah.
Anyway, I just laugh also when people have so much pride in their party, like as if they're playing on a football team. Like, okay, relax.
That's
you
what
were
always
just,
killed me, dude.
huh?
That's what always killed me. Like, people having so much pride and it's just like blind
Allegiance.
Yeah, to their party, where it's like, no, dude, at the end of the day, you might take a bullet for your political party, but are these fuckers really gonna take one for you? Is Joe Biden
Not at
really
all.
gonna like
Hell no.
do something,
Is Newsom gonna really do something for you?
Yeah, come
No.
on, bro. It's like, at the end of the day, it's very rare to find people who honestly care
Yeah.
and do things to help somebody else. It's very rare. It's so, like, even when people start doing it, you feel like you're being ripped off, like you're being taken for, like, something's gonna happen.
Yeah, there's a
This
by
isn't
the
gonna
way
be true.
coming.
And so it's always like the same thing with politicians. Like, like, you have sworn allegiance, but at the end of the day, they don't care. They're humans.
Hell no, dude.
They're gonna look out for themselves first, because, like I said earlier, that's the American way. You gotta individualism.
Yeah, and dude, I'm sorry. Once a minority or person of color becomes a political figure, they no longer give a shit about their race or their people, because guess what? If you care about that, you're not going to be a successful politician.
No.
If you don't care about yourself first and all the incentives and lobbies you're paying into or supporting, you're not going to be a career politician, because that's what it's based on, is
Mm-hmm.
politics. And politics, I mean, politics literally are, it's never been a straight, honest thing, and
Yeah.
it's we just need to be smart. If we know that
Yeah.
A is not B, then hey, dude, cool. But then, like I was saying too about the whole Democrat Republican thing, I'm like, bro, it's not like, it's not like at the end of the day, like the way I look at politics is this is like I'm choosing who I want to elect that chooses how my tax money is spent.
Yeah.
And when you look at it that way, it's really silly to hate others or dislike other people because they like someone different.
Yeah.
And everyone's guilty of it, especially in Cali. Like, I rag on liberals so much, but it's because I live in one of the most liberal states in America, let
Yeah.
alone the world. And it's like, of course I'm going to bash it. Just like all the people that grew up in red states that all they do is bash conservatives. It's like, if all I'm getting information wise is one spectrum, then I'm always going to kind of be like the opposition on it. But, at the end of the day, it's like I see flaws in both things. And I just want more people to kind of like, I don't want to use the term wake up because I hate the whole woke shit, but like, I just want
Yeah.
people to kind of like understand and be a little more attentive, and be fair, like this whole
Yeah.
like blind allegiance stuff. It's not benefiting you. It's not benefiting anyone but the people you think care about you, which they don't. So it's just like, let's be smart, and let's give credit where credit is due, Danny. And politicians, unless you're going to be a politician, I don't know if politicians are probably the reason you're doing what you're doing right now.
No, it's
And
not.
finally, we're getting into the subject this week, which is, our favorite teachers that potentially inspired our careers
Mm-hmm.
and got us where we're going. And I know you mentioned you had a powwow with like your principal, but do you have an example or someone maybe you wanted to talk
Yeah,
about?
several, man. Um, so as you guys know, if you guys haven't been listening to the other 20 plus episodes, I'm a high school teacher. Been doing it for I don't know 7, 8 years already. I don't know. It's been a number, and I yeah, and, traditionally I've been a history teacher, and I like the first love for history. I mean, I always found it kind of interesting. I always found it very fascinating, like Greek mythology and all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think probably because I saw Clash of the Titans like when I was like super small, so I
Yeah.
always kind of was really really interested on that. But like my eighth grade U.S. history teacher, Mr. Willie, he's a teacher over here at Willow Glen Middle School. Oh man, this guy just made history so interesting, man. He just made U.S. history so interesting for me, and like the way he taught it and the way he talked about it, incorporated music to specific themes and stuff like that. It was just like for me, it was amazing. And I remember that sparked my my love for history in eighth
Mm-hmm.
grade. Then I got lucky, ninth grade, world history. I had another great teacher, and the way she taught it, Miss Harding, the way she taught history was also just fascinating. Like the way she did it, the way she told the stories and stuff, and it made it just fueled my love for it. Unfortunately, I had horrible teachers my 11th and 12th grade, um, like horrible history teachers. But then again, I wasn't the best student ever,
Yeah.
and it wasn't until college again when I over here at Evergreen Valley College, Mister I can't remember his name, but he pretty much taught all of history. And Mr. Narvison, is that a person?
That
Am I
sounds
saying?
kind of familiar.
Yeah, that might be it. I'm just gonna go with that one. Like the way he retangled my love for history again, and then as far as history concept, Mr. Narvison, I that was his name over at Evergreen Valley College, and then he
Yeah.
transferred over to San Jose State. Like he just really the way he taught it and the way he presented it, I just really really loved it. Um, but the teacher, so that I always had the interest of history, and then I also started taking at Evergreen Valley College with my mentor, Professor Arturo Villarreal. I took the Mexican American Studies. I took Chicano culture studies,
Mm-hmm.
and then I took. I remember taking a Mesoamerica history, so about Aztecs, Mayans,
Mm-hmm.
the indigenous groups pre European, um, Latin America. And I remember I did a presentation about how the Mayan culture treated sexuality. And I mean, and I told I told him I was like 19. I told him like the only reason is I was looking through a book and I saw some drawings of like, sexual acts, in the Mayans that were like written in the Mayan thing. And I'm like, oh, little fucking little pervert me, like, oh, what the hell? So I started
Yeah.
reading it and I was fascinated by it. And then like I did this research and I presented it. I did, here I am 19-year-old doing a presentation about Mayan
It's a
sexuality.
super mature subject. Yeah.
Yeah. And, in this class, and my professor, I remember he gave me back my essay 100%.
Oh, dude, it was probably the most
100%.
interesting subject.
100%. He's like, dude, this is well written. And he told me, he called me into his office. He's like, hey, come to my office hours. I'm like, all right. I'm
Mhm.
like, fuck, what's gonna happen? He goes,
He's like, you want to see
hey,
some sex? No, I'm kidding.
and no, he's like, dude, he's a Betancourt. That presentation you did and the research, very talented. He's like, I'm not gonna lie, just who you are. I thought this was gonna go sour, but this moment you went up there and you started presenting it and you were professional and the topics, like, you just swished it and you made it so much interesting. He's like, what's your major? And I'm like, I don't know, like, business. I'm like, I don't
Yeah,
know,
like
business.
everyone else. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, I don't know, dude, probably business. And he goes, well, you should look into social science, and social studies as well. I think you have a very good gift for it, and I think you will thrive. This was, my mentor, so a person I looked up to.
Hell
So I didn't
yeah.
even think twice. The next day, I switched over my. I went from undecided to social studies, and here I am teaching now, and I still have that same passion for teaching and showing my love for history. And it was a combination of my eighth, ninth grade teachers who kind of sparked my love for history.
Mm-hmm.
My history teacher over at Evergreen Valley College, who kind of like really made me fall in love with history, and then my mentor Professor Arturo Villarreal, when the Chicano culture and stuff like that, who kind of like,
Yeah.
hey, you're good at this, you should follow this. And I'm like, okay. And I loved it, and that's what sparked my interest. And those three people are four people are responsible for me teaching today. I
Yeah.
thrive to be like them.
Um, and I'm going to ask you this because it's partially what I did today. You know what you should do?
What's up?
And I'm going to reach out to the other two. I actually am going to get in this, but I reached out to one of mine today
Uh-huh.
and I explained to them kind of what we're doing now and just thanked them.
Mm-hmm.
And he actually got back to me within like 5 minutes. And I'll get into it more, but what I'm saying is Steph brought this up to me, and it's kind of like when you're thinking of someone, that whole adage of when you're thinking about someone, instead of just thinking about them, reach out. So what I'm recommending to you to do now, and this was kind of the point of this, was the whole point of this exercise this week was to acknowledge the people we feel are responsible for the path we're on right now, right? So the next step I want you to do is go through and just reach out to these people, and maybe if it's just an email, but just let them know, because as a teacher, what's one of the most rewarding things in life is having your students come back and let you know what the impression and the effect you had on them, because there's not a lot of rewards. Being a teacher isn't always the most rewarding position.
No.
You really got to know what your wins are and take them for what they are. But I feel like that definitely is a win for an instructor when they know they did what they planned to do, they made a difference, and then that person became a good enough person to reach back out to them and let them know. And I feel like that's good for your psyche. You're reopening up these doors that already got you where you are. Who knows, it might bring you more opportunity, because rehashing relationships that are beneficial, I mean, I don't think there's anything smarter than that.
Mm-hmm.
And then it kind of just puts out that these people might be in a rough spot, like how we were. And, you know how impactful the stuff like that is when you hear it from someone that you know is related to your life, and then let alone, was affected by what you've done in a positive way. I mean, hearing stuff like that when you're low, I mean, that builds people up, and
Yeah.
I feel like that's kind of the whole point of what we're doing too, is we're building ourselves up and bringing others with us.
No, not only that, but and it's better to do it earlier than later because I remember one teacher I didn't bring up was my sophomore and junior teacher, Miss Gail Crane. She was my English teacher, and she kind of saw she knew I was putting up a front that was didn't care about school. She
Right.
saw the potential in me, so she actually like pushed me for certain things, pushed me to like be better at school.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course she's like, hey, she took her time, saw my grades, before I counseled. And she's like, hey, you're not gonna graduate in time. She's like, here, why don't you take these, go into this alternative school instead? I think you will succeed in this. And I started taking college classes when I was still in high school, not because I was smart, but to make up credits.
Right.
And that's overnight, and that's what kind of push started me to go into college. And I wanted to thank her for that, because I graduated back in '02, and I want to thank her for it. I remember she retired the same year I graduated in '02, and when I went looking for her, like I don't know, '03 or 04, found out that she actually passed away of cancer, of
Oof.
lung cancer. Um, like literally like a year after she retired.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just kind of like shit. Like I wish like I wish I could just tell her in person, like, hey, thank you for changing my life. Like I'm sure she did to like hundreds of other students because everybody loved her. But yeah, Miss Crane, I never forget her. Because she was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Like yeah, she didn't put me in the career, but she saw potential in me, and I was just like freaking awesome. And yeah, sometimes it's like you said, like these teachers are like, 100. I'm not even sure they're still teaching.
Mm-hmm.
But um yeah, that's definitely something within the next, week or something I'm going to be doing, like reaching out and see if I can find these,
And you know what I had
students.
to do? So, well, I'll just jump into mine. I might as well just jump into mine.
Yeah, yeah, go for it.
Um, so this all kind of like, obviously my love for mics and studio and music production, it all stems from the first time me and Ryan went to tour Expression College back in like 2004 or 5. Me, his mom, and Ryan. She's so nice. We went out,
Yeah,
spent a
yeah.
day. We toured Expression, whatever. Then we went to San Francisco, and she took us to the Hard Rock to have lunch. I mean, at Pier 39. Like, who does that?
Hmm.
Like Deb does that. But it's like, she's so like, Ryan's folks, like, and Daryl's, like, they're like the nicest parents
Oh
ever,
yeah.
and so supportive, so like loving. But it's just, that is the catalyst. So I mean, in a way, I gotta really thank Deb. I know she lit a fire under Ryan, and it's just, Red Room was the big. I wasn't involved directly with Red Room. That was kind of you and him, but you
Yeah.
know that involvement opened my eyes into what, because in senior year I didn't really know what I wanted to do anymore. I didn't know I wanted to go to school. And at that time, even though during high school, me and Ryan toured the campus at Expression, I had no real idea that I would try and go there because it was just so expensive. And I didn't have a scholarship. I didn't have grants. My folks couldn't put me up. So it was just kind of like not really a reasonable thing to think about, not really realistic. Then I work for a few years, and then I decide, I'm living in Campbell. I decide, I'm gonna take a couple, they got some really cool, they got a music theory class, a studio recording class, West Valley. Why not?
Hmm.
So, I'm working mornings, early afternoons at Specialties, and then I'm just driving over to West Valley and taking these classes. I'm not going with anyone. I don't know anyone that's going to West Valley. I'm just plunging in, doing this purely for myself. And I get there, and the guy is just so cool. His name's Jeff Forhan, Mr. Forhan, and he's so dope. Um, he's this old white dude with a really kind of raspy, cool voice, but he was a session live drummer for a band in the 80s. And
Oh, cool.
yeah, dude. And he got me super into, because we did a music theory class. So what he would do is everyone was in front of a piano. Basically, you were in the piano room, the music room. So everyone had their own piano, and you're supposed to bring headphones. But he had his piano. He had an upright piano at the front of the class. So what he would do is he would encourage like volunteers. There was only like 5 or 6 people that were even down, which blew my mind. He's like, "Here's some get a thumb drive and put like 2 or 3 songs on. If you want to share, great. And if you really want to share, we can go over and hit." So what ended up happening is everyone that wanted to share shared like a song they like. And this dude Jeff straight up like took the songs, just listening to them, and was playing along and figured out what key they were in, then told us the chords, what chord progression they used for this song, and broke it down on the whiteboard while we were learning it, basically teaching us how to play the song. I mean, it was just like taking such dense subject matter, which is music theory, because even musicians will admit music theory is not the most fun thing to do. He made it fun. He made it easy to understand. And he was super chill, like he even would crack jokes. He'd be like, I'm not saying, and this is a teacher, he's like, I'm not saying we need to get high and watch the Three Stooges, but one day we need to just get really high and watch the Three Stooges. I'm like, I've never heard a teacher say that. So it was just like, dude, this guy is the shit. That was just my music theory class, He's the one who got me into, we would also, we had a music theory class, then we also had a commercial music class, which basically was consisting of him teaching us how to use Reason. So like I basically got like a professional hands-on course on how to get into Reason, which I still use. And he really got us like deep into the composition end. He got us into the theory end, and then the other end of the class, which was a night class, was my studio recording class, which is when I learned about all my mics. I learned about mic placement. I learned about how to use signal flow on the big ass board in there. I mean, without any of this, I would not have went to Expression, because I even made a demo in 2009. I still have it of beats I made. And if it wasn't for me, I was doing things on my own then too. But if it wasn't for that push and confidence that Jeff built up, I wouldn't have decided to try and go to Expression again. I wouldn't have tried to better myself, which at the time I thought, I'm going to be a live sound engineer, or I'm going to be a studio engineer. But it led me to this, like I have audio engineering experience, and because of that, I'm using it towards this podcast, and it's just crazy. Once again, it's like sometimes the things that they help us with aren't direct relations, but it turns into something that evolved from that originally, and he's like definitely the main one. And I reached out to him, which was really nice. I sent him an email today, actually. I had to look him up because I didn't even remember his name, because I don't think I even have any of my old classwork from it. But I Googled West Valley music instructor, and luckily he popped up, and he's still the one, because I was worried. I'm like, hopefully he's still the guy. Yeah. So he came up, his name came up. I was like super happy. I was like, dude, this is great. So I reached out to him. I sent him an email, and he got back to me within a few minutes. I was amazed how fast he got back, and how genuinely happy he was, dude. Like, I mean, I could kind of paraphrase what I mean. Basically, I'm not gonna read the email, but basically what I said was, hey, I'm reaching out to you. I just want to let you know, here's the reasons why I loved your classes. This is what it helped me inspire myself to do. And, much love and, like keep in touch kind of thing. And then he basically told me the same thing. He's like, yeah, let me know how you're doing and all this. So then he didn't respond to this, but I didn't want to be salesy and be like, well, I have a podcast. I didn't want to make it seem like, hey, I'm reaching out to you to be a listener.
Yeah.
So I just told him that, and then he said, "Let me know how you're doing." And I said, "Well, the reason I'm reaching out to you is the theme this week is, favorite teachers that potentially inspired your path in your career." And I was just more like reiterating the thank you, and I am doing a podcast, and I just kind of like touch base with him and let him know, and it felt really good because keeping professional contacts is like one of the most beneficial things out there because
Right.
one, it's like it's good for your psyche to keep people in the know of what you're doing, and then also just you're being proactive with your networking. But it's like, dude, you never know an opportunity or when or why or how you'll need it, but you always want to have your cards ready to go,
Mm-hmm.
Um, if it's not from a mental moral standpoint, it should be definitely from an advantageous standpoint. Networking, there's so much power in it. And he gave me a lot of confidence to take with me too, which confidence isn't easy to be groomed, especially at a young age. And that was partially my weakness for a long time because even though I was able to creatively do things, I still just felt too vulnerable and nervous to put myself out there for judgment. And it's become a lot easier now. But, these teachers, along with Jeff, obviously are super responsible for that. And I'm going to go over a couple more. But then I have at Expression, these two teachers I had. First would be my music theory teacher, which his name was Dave Ernst.
Mm-hmm.
Just super good guitar player and very humble guy that every day he would, similar to the class with Jeff, it was analyzing songs, but he had a looper pedal and his guitar every day in class. And before class started, he'd create a couple chords and then he'd make his loop and then he'd just be riffing on it, just soloing. So I would always go in early because it was just like watching a concert. And then, you shoot the shit with them. You ask them, hey, what about this player, or this song? And like, they geek out with you. And then it was just great. It's like, this is where I need to be. And it just kept feeling like that. I'm always finding these cool, like dudes who'll take you under their wing and like show you things. And that's
Yeah.
what I want. And Dave got me more into my guitar again. And then, I'm still playing guitar. I'm still jamming with people. I just jammed with my buddies last weekend. And then my favorite class at Expression was my live sound class, which once again, I had no idea I would want to do live sound. I thought I want to be in a studio. Taking this class made me realize I don't want to be in a fucking studio. It's just too much. It's rarely what you think it is. It's really cool, but you got to work in a studio for probably 30 years before you could do what you want to do.
Right.
20, maybe 20, right? I wasn't willing to do that, and it's not enjoyable. It's just, it wasn't my thing, and my instructor for live sound, Hanny, I think he was so cool, dude, but he actually was the front of house touring engineer with Train for a long time.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Yeah, so he knows all the guys, like he talks about them. I think he was mentioning the bass player's heroin addiction once, but it's just so cool to hear like these guys that have real industry experience. Like I was saying with Jeff, like he played drums for a band in the 80s that he never wanted to admit what it was, and we finally figured it out and called him out on it one day, and it was hilarious. So he said some 80s group. He didn't want to admit who it was, and we figured it out, and it was Bananarama, Cruel Summer.
Oh really?
The people who did Cruel Summer. He wasn't on the studio, but he did tour with them, and
Okay.
he's such a funny guy that he didn't want to tell us. And I'm like,
Yeah.
regardless of the fact that you may or may not like their work, I don't know many people that could say they were a touring musician with a top, like that was a top artist for like that
Yeah.
song. And I mean, dude, that's a huge deal. So I was just like, whatever, dude. Okay, downplay it. Like that's dope as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Like, dude, Taylor Hawkins played drums for Alanis Morissette before he joined Foo Fighters.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that. But some
Yeah.
people would mock it and be like, Alanis Morissette. But it's like, yeah, dude, but That's dope as
She,
fuck.
she was selling out like
Oh,
crazy.
dude.
Like
And she was doing, I mean, some could argue, I mean, not now, but some could argue that wasn't an advantageous move to go from an established act that was Alanis Morissette to a new random alt band that no one knows called the Foo Fighters.
yeah, and it's funny because that's what they always bring that up, and I was seeing, they always bring up when they invited Stephen Hawkins or Steve,
No, I
yeah,
don't think I think it's Steven Tyler.
Steven Tyler, yeah, dude,
Stephen Hawking's a fool in the chair, bro.
yeah, rest in peace.
He ain't going
He's
nowhere.
yeah.
Yeah, he's dead. He went somewhere. He finally went somewhere.
He went and it was
He
in
went.
outer space. Um, but yeah, when he joined, I remember him and Dave were really, they were buddies because Nirvana and whatever.
Oh,
And
you mean Taylor Hawkins?
yeah,
Sorry.
Taylor Hopkins um joined, he was with Atlantis, and he was friends with Dave Grohl, and Dave, he's like, dude, I need to tour. Our drummer, the touring drummer, just left,
Yeah.
and he calls Taylor and he goes, hey, um, do you know of, I'm looking for a drummer. Do you know of any drummers that might be interested? And Taylor goes, yeah, dude, I'm interested. And Dave still starts laughing. He's like, no, seriously, dude, we're looking for a drummer. And like, he's always like, yeah, Dave never understood. Like, I wanted to join Foo Fighters so
Right.
bad. And Dave's like, why the fuck would you leave Alanis Morissette? You're touring the
Hmm.
world, playing arenas in like Japan and everywhere to play shitty clubs with this band that might not even be successful or anything, might end in a couple of weeks. And it's just funny, one of those things where like a lot of people just have to follow what makes them happy.
Hmm.
Sometimes, you're like, yeah, you might have success with this really big, artist, and a lot of people are like, oh, Alanis Morissette, blah blah blah, or Bananarama, whatever, oh, whatever. But it's, you go on and you do what makes you feel happy. And sometimes a lot of people say like, oh, why would you ever walk away from the current situation? But at the same time, you're like, well, sometimes you kind of have
Gotta
to
know when
kind
to
of,
fold them.
exactly like the good old Kenny Rogers said.
Damn right.
That's right.
To finish up Hanny real quick, I wanted to mention his demeanor. He was like kind of like live sound is a very intense line of work. You're basically dealing with roadies and riggers and all that shit. And if you've ever been to a concert, yeah, if you're standing around and don't know what you're doing, you're gonna get yelled at or fired. So it's a very intense environment, but it is one of the coolest. And when you know what you're doing, it's the best because
Mm.
people let you do what you're doing, and you get to watch and listen to the very thing you love most, which is live music. And if you can get on a good show, I mean, holy shit! I mean, you get to watch from like the stage or the best, because that's the thing. People got to understand, if you go to a venue, like a good venue, right? You typically probably want to be hanging out by the front of house. And the reason I
Yeah.
say this is because all the mixing is done from that position of the venue. So
Mm-hmm.
realistically, it sounds the best right where he is. The vicinity of your live sound front of house engineer, the guy with all the boards and shit down on the floor, that's pretty much acoustically the best you're going to hear that show, because you're getting the actual sound from the band. You're also getting the mixed sound, but he's doing it from that position. So his mix is perfected at where he's standing. So that's what I'm saying. Sonically, you're going to get the best show in or around the area that live sound guy. So when concerts do come back, if they come back, some food for thought, people. But what I was going to say about Hanny was, the industry is very like crazy, and he kind of crafted me personality more than know-how, because know-how can come and go without practice. Like over under cable wrapping and, like soldering, like a lot of that stuff that I knew how to do, I'm getting a little rusty on because I haven't been practicing it. But one thing I'm not rusty on is kind of my bravado and my confidence that he helped get me, and just a level of pride with what we're doing. And I have that even with the work I do now. Like I'm able to manage a team now at work and just direct adults. And it doesn't feel like I'm doing something I shouldn't be. Like it now feels like a normal thing. So like I definitely got to give some credit to him for that too, because just as much as it kind of showed me I didn't necessarily want to do this completely, it helped groom me with some hard skills, that I took with me later on and that I still use now. But basically, those three people, all involved with music, helped me like on the technical aspect of stuff, which I'm now applying to this podcast industry. And
Yeah.
we are now consistently doing it. And, we've been professionals for over a year. And once again, man, I'm proud of us. We'll keep it going.
Absolutely,
And,
man.
we're going to be talking about more of our accolades because like I said, we're just scratching the surface on opportunity. This isn't going to be our first opportunity. This opportunity is going to create another one, dude. And who knows where that's going to go. And I'm just blessed and happy to know we got a good squad. I got you guys' back and I'm super happy to, and I wouldn't be doing it with anyone else. It feels like the perfect band of misfits. And I'm just super, super stoked to be
Same here,
in this passenger seat in this fucking crazy spaceship we call life.
dude. It's crazy ride called life, bro.
I was doing somewhat of a Prince ripoff a little bit.
Yeah, it's that.
Is what does he say? In this thing we call life, the eternal thing of life, which is a very long time. But anyway, yeah. So that's enough random butchered Prince references. We're now going to return to our regularly scheduled programming. No, we are going back to our recurring awesome segment that we are super happy we have.
Oh yeah.
It is time for the Lone Star Reviews, and I'm going to have Danny lead us off.
So before for my first review, I gotta tell you something that happened on Wednesday to let you know why I picked this.
Mm-hmm.
So on Wednesday, I get my second cup or third cup of coffee, whatever, and I of coffee. And I'm looking outside my front door. I have my brother and my sister in law. They're in the living room,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, "Hey, there's a package there in the grass. Like somebody left a package." I'm like, "Oh, Biggie. We always order from fucking Amazon and shit." So I go
Right.
and I get this. I go near the package and I notice that it's open. I notice that the package is open, and I'm like, what the fuck? And then I'm like, oh great, somebody fucking opened our package. Then I saw that the package wasn't for somebody at the house. It was like a completely different name.
Mm-hmm.
It had the right house number but different street. Like
Yeah.
it was like two or three streets down the block, and I'm like, oh shit. And the package was open, so I'm like, oh dude, somebody like stole this from their front yard. They opened it and you know, and then
Mm-hmm.
they threw it thinking it was here. So my brother goes, "Hey, what is it? Oh, let's see what it is. Fuck it." And we kind of like, I'm like, I take a peek, and it was a vibrator.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it was a vibrator, but not like a full on dildo vibrator, but it was like kind of like an egg one, kind of like a G spot kind of vibrator
Oh,
thing, like a
yeah.
bead thing. My sister in law will swear it was like a fucking anal bead vibrator, but it was like that kind of thing. And we're like, what the fuck? And we're like, dude, you need to return it, blah, blah, blah. We need to return it. And I'm like, but how embarrassing would that be? Like, it's the worst thing that can happen.
Oh,
Like, if I'm gonna order
totally.
something, like, I would deny it for like the death of me. Like, hell no, that's not me, bro. I don't even live here.
You do it on
Um,
like a Saturday on a afternoon when all the neighbors are out. You're all, hey, I think I have your vibrator.
hey, your vibrator guy here. Anyways, luckily, like within an hour, the dude comes over and he's like, "Hey, I actually bought this for my friend. They're like older Asian gentlemen.
Yeah, of
Like,
course,
hey,
his
I actually
friend.
bought this for my friend. He thought, I bought it and I left it for him, and he thought it was misplaced, and he brought it over here. So it's like a misunderstanding." And I'm like, me trying to be like the like the rational thinking,
Right.
because of course my brother and my sister are like, oh, they're gonna do nasty shit to each other, or like they're nasty,
Yeah.
blah, or
Oh,
they're
for
into
sure
the
they
crazy
are.
shit. And I'm like, dude, this is like a little vibrator thing. What if it's like for like their muscles or something, for like pains or something? They put the battery and
Can you
it's like
imagine? Like, what
muscle.
are you gonna do? A little egg massager, dude? What are you
Yeah.
gonna?
Oh, well, that's what I thought.
Oh, look.
So
Yeah.
this is my first item that I picked off Amazon because it was off Amazon. So I looked it up. I'm not sure if this is I didn't get the name for it, but I'm reviewing the Good Lukoi
But what
waterproof remote control massage adult funny toys woman new.
what does it look like? If you could describe it, since we don't have a visual accompaniment.
Well, it has like a battery pack for you can put the batteries. It has
Right.
a cord, and then literally it looks like an egg. It's like a silver egg.
Yeah. So it's more for like you said, maybe like clitoral stimulation.
Most likely 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
We're talking real body parts here, people. We got to be scientifically accurate.
Yeah. And I'm not sure if this is, I'm pretty sure this is not the right one, but this one had the better reviews. The other ones didn't like the other one's similar.
You mean
to the one that
juicier?
received. Exactly.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I
Because
went
I was
to
gonna
look
say
at
we're not going for better here.
yeah, no.
Yeah.
Not the best reviews also,
Yeah.
but this was back from this one. Um there's a 1-star review. This was reviewed in the United States on January 3rd, 2021.
Mhm.
And it says, not the best. And the cord isn't long at all.
The-
Also, the only way to make sure it doesn't come on by itself is to take the batteries out. And I'm like, imagine like the middle of the night, you have that in like your drawer and you just hear that thing go off and it's like rattling in your drawer. Like
That'd
that has
scare
to
the
be like
shit out of you.
exactly. So people don't and this is for $10 on Amazon. So people step up your game if you're gonna buy that. Don't get at least spend $20 on your sex toys.
You know, I agree. You know,
$20 is like
also,
base.
unless you're a goose, I don't know what the egg shape's doing for you. So, let's step that up as well.
Yeah, just buy a fucking dildo or vibrator.
Yeah, just something. Stop aiming for dairy products that aren't doing things for you.
Yeah, please.
Eggs are meant for eating. Okay? Or
Not for
throwing at
pleasure.
people's houses.
Yeah,
Not putting in
Yeah.
your butt. Not putting in an orifice. It doesn't belong. Stop playing with fire, people.
it's not meant to shake by itself. If you want eggs to shake, have some scrambled eggs.
Yeah, you want to have fun? Buy a yo-yo.
Yeah, but so that's
That was a good one. I'm glad you picked a dildo. Or not
Yeah.
a dildo, a vibrator.
yeah. And I saw I'm like, I have to review this. So when you told me, I'm like, oh yeah, I have to review what people are saying about this product. And that was like the only. Other than that, it has. Let's see. Out of 15 reviews, they have 2.5 stars. So that's not good.
That's not good at all.
No, if you're planning to get an item similar, don't go for the Good LaCoy waterproof remote control massage adult funny toys woman
Funny
new
toys.
toys.
Yeah.
Women new. Who the fuck buys a used sex toy?
So it's funny you ask. I don't know the answer to who. I just know that the rule with used sex toys is you have to boil them. And like, what cracks me up is just imagining, right? Just imagine a Savers with like a bucket. Like how they have buckets of toys and like books. Just picture like a Savers or a Goodwill with just a box of dildos. And
How do you,
nothing's clean.
how the fuck do you go up to
Yeah.
the counter and be like, hey, excuse me, Bob, or no, it's usually like a woman who works.
Can
there.
you wrap
"Oh,
these?
Excuse me, Roberta.
Yeah, Roberta. No, that's a good one, yeah.
Where do you keep the dildos?
And then she'd be like, dildos? Like she'll
Oh,
yell
you're
it.
looking you're looking for the
Oh,
dildos,
he's looking
hon?
for the dildos.
Oh, okay, hold on. Billy, can you bring out the sex toys to the front, number 3? And you're like, God damn it.
Which one do you need it for, Roberta? Is it this pervert over here? Yeah.
Do you need the schlongs? What? Just bring them all. Just bring all the colors. I'll go to the
Bring
walkie-talkie.
bring the arsenal. This guy looks desperate. Yeah. She's like, they go into like the back room. They're like, all right, look, we know what you're here for, and this ain't working. So this is what we got. This one's called the noisy cricket.
Imagine going to Savers and then you're asking for the sex toys in the box, and then they're like, "Oh, by the way, they're all pink ticket today, so you get an additional 50%."
Yeah, exactly, the little circles and shit.
Yeah.
Oh God, I couldn't even tell this one was on sale because the whole thing's pink.
Yeah, damn it! I'll go every Tuesday. That's where I go get my sex toys.
Dude, I would just love seeing, like, you know how they have little baskets and shit? I would just love to see like 3 old ladies just going in there raiding the fucking sex toy bucket.
Oh, dude, hell yeah! And they know like the brands and shit. Like, oh, this is a fucking I don't know fucking brand. I'm sorry.
Danny, I know a brand, and we can all admit we at least know one brand: Fleshlight, the leading brand in pocket pussies.
But okay, so Fleshlight is an actual brand, because I just thought that was the name.
Because that's probably the only brand I can really think of, to be honest with you.
Because I thought that was the brand of like.
Oh, you mean like a type of toy?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and it's actually it's funny. They're either called masturbators, which I think is the correct term. But most people call them pocket pussies.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but yeah, you're right. Basically, Fleshlight is the brand for the type of thing it is. Yeah.
Oh, so it's kind of they became kind of like Q-tips. We all know what
exactly.
Q-tips are,
it's a cotton swab.
Yeah, exactly.
But we call them Q-tips. Exactly. Same shit.
Mm-hmm. Same concept.
Okay. It becomes the thing, but it's still known as exactly.
In that case, yes, I do know at least one brand.
See?
Of sex toys.
Because we're demented, sick perverts, but we're honest about it.
Hey, and that's step one.
I mean, bad people aren't honest at all. So think about that, people. We might be weird and flawed, but we're not evil.
Look at Richard Ramirez. By the way, you gotta check out that show on Netflix. I'm into like I only saw the first episode so far. I'm probably gonna
what's it called?
Episode. It's called The Night Stalker.
Oh, literally, it's about Richard Ramirez. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll check it out, because he was from New York or San Francisco.
Oh no, he was from El Paso, Texas, and I mean, I guess this is a circle of trust. I was planning to move to El Paso, with my ex girlfriend.
Yeah.
So like I will go down there, visit her family or whatever. And I remember we're driving around, she's showing me El Paso, trying to convince me to move out there. Which, I mean, when you're fucking in love, you're like,
you'll go anywhere.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, we're going to Alabama? Oh, fuck yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
Oh, you want me to put on the white hood? Oh, hell yeah, let's do it.
I got some crosses in my truck. This is perfect.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
Oh, I knew they'll come in handy one day. So like she's showing me around, and she goes, oh, by the way, this is the cemetery where Richard Ramirez used to like sleep, and like the tree is still there where like he used to do like seances and rituals.
Yeah, because he was he worshipped Satan and shit, right?
Yeah, and he was like a loner since he was like 12 or 13, and he was like, he used to spend the night, because life at home was so rough that he'll sleep at the cemetery and spend like the whole day at the cemetery by this tree. And I'm like, and I remember seeing about the cemetery because I saw it in an episode of Ghost Adventures. So as soon as she said that, I'm like, let's go. Like, we have to go. So just being there, we saw like the tree, or like we thought it was a tree that he used to like hang out with. And I'm like, it's just like, oh fuck, this fucking psychopath used to like sleep here, and he went out to do evil shit. But yeah,
that's super cool and creepy.
Oh yeah, well, you know me, I'm always been into that creepy.
Oh dude, yeah, but yeah. I mean, here we go again too. You got yourself a Hispanic serial killer.
Yeah,
you got to be proud of that. They're mostly white. We kind of got the market cornered, man.
Finally, it's about time Hollywood let us have one.
For what basketball is for black people, serial killing is for white people.
Yeah. Oh, no, true. No lie in that.
I'm just saying, I want more diversity.
You know what's funny? You know what sucks? And again, I'm sorry, we're getting off topic, but a couple years back, a Lifetime or something, or A&E did a movie about Richard Ramirez, the like his
Yeah.
last days or something. Horrible movie.
Oh yeah, of
Horrible
course.
fucking
It's
movie.
all propaganda bullshit.
Yeah, it was fucking horrible movie. But guess who played Richard Ramirez?
Hold on, can I guess? I got a
Yeah.
good guess.
Okay.
Mario
And
Lopez.
no,
Damn
I
it.
would have been happy with Mario Lopez. Here's the thing, this actor has portrayed another Chicano person in another movie.
W- Wilmer Valderrama.
No, but no, he's a Chicano. He's from Colombia.
Michael
No,
Pena.
no. That
I
would
know.
have
I'm
been
being
great. No,
okay. I need to name clearly a
it's not.
C-list actor.
He has played Mexican a Mexican or
Oh,
Chicano
hold on.
before.
I got one. Renee. No. Oh no,
No,
Luis Guzman.
damn, no, that would have been good.
That would have
No,
been a pretty good one.
it was
Okay, just tell me.
Lou Diamond
Phillips. No shit.
La Bamba.
Stand and Deliver.
Yeah,
La Bamba. Yeah.
How many?
Yeah, Native
freaking
American
Latino
dude.
characters. Yeah, and he's
Yeah.
like Native American / Filipino, but yet they give him.
Wow. He does
Yeah.
kind of look Filipino.
It blows your mind. I was
Yeah.
going to say, oh, he's Filipino. You're like, oh shit.
No wonder he's a good looking dude. You got Native American and Filipino. Not bad looking people.
No,
Yeah.
and I'm like, but he's like after La Bamba, Stand the Liver, and all this. He was the token Mexican.
I know. And nothing is Mexican. Well, I don't now I'm getting bad, but Native American arguably somewhat related, but yeah, Filipino, no. But once again, yeah, it's kind of like some people get casted and they're like they look like it.
Yeah, exactly.
Like Cubans being casted for Italians or
and vice
yeah,
versa.
vice versa. Hispanic
Yeah.
working for it's funny how we generalize on every level and we only have a problem with it when it's on a personal level.
Yeah, dude. But
Random. Oh no, I'll check out the Richard Ramirez thing.
yeah, check it out. It's called Night Stalker, and it's like they talk about the police that arrest. Talks about it's a good one. It's a good miniseries, like 4 or 5 episodes. Granted, I only seen the first episode and I was hooked, but everybody's telling it's fucking amazing, and I mean, so far what I've been seeing, yes, it has been amazing.
Now I got a question about the show. Is it set up kind of like Unsolved Mysteries where they reenact dramatizations while they're showing you, or is it purely like kind of a documentary style, Ken Burns kind of thing where they're, you know what I mean? It's more telling a story, or is it reenacting kind of what happened as well?
No, it's all they use nothing but clips from that time period.
Oh,
So,
okay.
like, clips from like the 80s, documentary 100%, like shots from like murder scenes from the actual or crime scenes and
Wow.
news reports. Reenacting will like there's some reenacting for like stupid flashbacks or like cutaways or something.
Yeah.
But not like it's not like you have somebody dressed like fucking Richard Ramirez.
Right.
You horrible like, oh, he came in,
Or he's in like a
something
hood.
like that. Yeah, no. It's all like narrated through the eyes of the people who were involved with it. The detectives and shit that arrested him.
So American Horror Story 1984. Did you watch any of that?
No, but it's on the list. All the
Yeah,
American Horror
it needs to be
Stories.
on the list because
Yeah,
your boy is in that season.
yeah. One of my students were telling me today about it because they know I love freaking scary shit. So
Dude, it's interesting, man. It's
Yeah.
really I'm a sucker for American horror though. Not everyone's into it, but I've always enjoyed. I mean, ever since the first one, which was The House.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, they pretty much had a standing cast from season 2 and now,
Mm-hmm.
because I don't think Sarah Paulson was in season 1, but she had a very small role because they were still relying a lot on Jessica Lange, and which was the older blonde lady.
Yeah.
And then I think she was the only one that came back. And there's a few other characters that have been recurring, but they've just got such a phenomenal writing group and actors.
I can't remember. Is it Catherine Bates or something?
Kathy
Or
Bates has
Kathy
been
Bates?
fucking
Kathy Bates.
amazing, dude, and she's
Yeah.
great in like everything. If you're a Stephen King fan, she's been doing shit with him forever. I mean,
fucking
shit, she was Misery.
Mystery. She was fucking nuts in Mystery.
I'm rewatching The Stand, the 90, because I'm watching the new one. I got CBS All Access. I'm watching the new one. I love Stephen King, so I watch. I'm obsessed with this shit. I'm watching the new one, which, by the way, 10 episodes, guys, which means 10 hours. The book is about 1,000 pages. It's going to allow for a little more. It's also on demand, so it's not really any FCC or any kind of editing timelines. It's just, I'm so excited. I love this on-demand platforms we have for creative shit.
Yeah.
But the thing, I'm rewatching the 94 Stand miniseries, which also is pretty well respected because Stephen King wrote the miniseries for TV. So he adapted his 1,000-page book to a 6-hour miniseries, which it has a pretty good reputation. I mean, special effects don't quite hold up, but like the actors they get on the show, dude. Gary Sinise is one of the main actors. You got fucking Molly Ringwald is the main chick.
Oh hell yeah.
You got Did you ever watch Scrubs?
A
little bit,
like episode here and there. But
so
like...
probably not. But the old Dr. Kelso, the asshole, he's like in it. Kathy Bates plays a radio DJ on. Dude, there's so many cool cameos. I think Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is some random Bible thumper, and the end is coming. There's so many cool cameos on his miniseries. Also, you gotta give Stephen King some credit here. I mean, although one of his worst books and still arguably one of his worst miniseries, Tommyknockers, what was that, 1991? Gave Jimmy Smits, so I think one of his first acting credits.
Yeah.
Because I don't think he was doing. Was he doing NYPD Blue at that time? I think he might have been. Either way,
yeah, maybe.
I'm a Jimmy Smits fan as well, but
I didn't like his character in Sons of Anarchy, but that's
I liked why you thought he was kind of a wimp.
No, I just thought, like, why are you getting all up in the fucking? Why are you so?
What? Why are you into the white girl?
No,
not like that. But I mean, why are you into it? Why are you trying to get in on an organization you have no business with?
Exactly.
Here's what I'll tell you, Danny. I got to rewatch the show, so it's not completely fresh. But my take on it was, he just fell in love.
Yeah,
and love leads you down paths that are fucking crazy.
Been there, done that.
Exactly. So what I think is he fell in love. Well, first of all, he's in love with the game, which is being an outlaw.
Yeah.
So you're never getting out of that world. You're always drawn into it regardless. The other thing is you developed a connection and a relationship with someone who's also an outlaw. So they get your lifestyle. There's not like this whole like, I'm going to leave for 8 hours, and then when I come back, I got to explain to you that I can't talk about what I did. You know what I mean? That whole like lifestyle that clearly is not an easy thing for everyone to understand and deal with. So I think there's a lot of allure and attraction with that. Mm-hmm. I'm totally acting like I wrote this show, but that's the vibe I got. And I actually really liked his character. Because I felt like he was one of those. He was basically a father figure in a way.
He
to Jax,
stability to Jax
because he was probably the best role model he had since his dad. And I think that's why I liked him, because he was a really likable, righteous guy that like did a lot of fucked up things and admitted his son was disabled, and he kind of blames himself for the bad choices he made, for the things that punished him later in life that ended up being punishing his son too. I don't know. It's hard for me to dislike much of that initial series because I feel like it was written really well.
Yeah.
And I like it. I get that you don't really like his character, but I didn't dig the Mayans one. I didn't get too far in it.
I got like 3 or 4 episodes.
I just wasn't digging it, and it wasn't even the acting. You know what acting? I didn't like the cartel boss. That clean cut Mexican dude. I just wasn't buying him as a.
Because I'm gonna tell you like this: coming from a region of Mexico where you're like familiar with like the cartel.
You mean Sinaloa?
Yeah, the Sinaloa cartel. And if you see like Narcos on Netflix and stuff, especially like the one in Mexico and stuff, they're not all dressed like that. I'm yet to see a dude out there, a big time mafia guy with like clean cut with a
Yeah.
fucking suit and everything, or like his bodyguard with the fucking ponytail. By the way, who's my? I know him because I told you he's the guy from Thick as Blood.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's yeah, he's the singer of Thick as Blood, and you're like, oh shit, what the fuck? But
Yeah.
like you're in a hardcore band, bro. Like what the fuck? Anyways, um, but yeah, I never got into Mayans. I saw maybe the first season, and it was all over the place. I feel like it was all
Very
over the place.
disappointing, dude, because I am a huge fan of 1990s gangsta movies and um
Yeah,
black ones, Mexican ones. I mean, Blood In, Blood Out, American Me, Boys in the Hood, Menace to Society. I mean, there's so many great gang movies,
yeah,
that are related to culturally, that black and the Mexican community or Hispanic. And dude, it's like I was really fucking let down.
yeah,
I just really wanted to see, and a lot of it had to do with the fact maybe they just didn't put the research in, and I think that's what it is, because Kurt
yeah,
Sutter literally spent a year in Oakland at the Hell's Angels clubhouse,
yeah. And
doing
so
like
did
recon basically, and building a script for his story. I don't think
yeah,
he can't go in with a cartel and learn shit. Like, you know what I mean?
no, and I think it also same thing with like Jax. Jax was saying how
Oh yeah, he
the
based that character off a real one of the president's sons, and then that's what they said. The Cali bikers rock sneakers out here. Like you go to the
yeah, that's
Midwest, they wear boots and shit, but out here we
mhm.
rock fucking Air Force Ones and Vans and shit.
And he never really said which he always said like, oh yeah, I spent a year with like a very notorious gang,
Yeah,
bike gang. So taking place that it was here in Northern California, especially like in the Stockton area, Central Cal
yeah.
Bay
Basically, I
Area.
think it's supposed to be like Lodi kind of
I,
shit.
I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure it was the Hell's Angels,
Oh, well.
without a doubt.
Oh, you mean who he was hanging out with?
Yeah,
Oh,
and they
no, it
based
was. It was
characters.
definitely the Hell's Angels. No, like I said, he was literally hanging out in the Oakland clubhouse for like a year as a
Yeah,
hang
and,
around.
and I think Jax was probably hanging out same in
Well, I don't,
Oakland or here in San Jose.
Well, yeah. Well, I don't know about the actors. I don't know if any of the actors were doing it at the time,
hmm
because I think he was still writing the script.
I think for character development, not like you're right, not for the
Maybe.
script,
No,
but
I
like
think you're. I think you're. No, I think you are right, because I think it was Charlie Hunnam actually that was
that's the same
bringing that
guy.
up too, because it wasn't just Kurt Sutter that told him that. It was Charlie Hunnam, like you said. It was like character actor style shit where they're like, yo, I'm gonna do a role, and like that's so funny how you can do that, just be honest with these fools and be like, yeah,
Yeah,
like straight up, like we're gonna do a role. We're not here to glorify what you do, but we're learning, and I'm gonna put out a show that's based on an MC, and let
we're
me
just
just
trying to be
hang
as
around for a little while. And
they're gonna be as honest as possible. I'm pretty sure the MC got some sort of cut on it too.
I mean, you gotta be, when you walk into a syndicate, and I say call it that because that's what it is. It's an MC, it's a club, whatever. You walk into an organization like that, um, there's no trust, dude. And even
No,
if you're a Hollywood producer, they don't give a fuck, dude. So
no,
that's the impressive part, that he had enough clout or street cred to just straight up be like, yeah, cool. I know you guys have like RICO acts that are active with the ATF, and like you guys are
hmm
on a federal watch list, but hey, let me chill at your clubhouse for a year.
yeah,
I mean, like, how do they know you're not a narc? It's just
exactly.
like such a cool and scary concept that is just so freaking attractive to me.
Yeah,
Just like my affirmation, like what shows do I love? I love Oz. I love a show about prison. What other shows do I like? I like Sopranos. What other shows do I like? I love The Wire. And it's
yeah,
like it's all so cool to learn about things you're not supposed to learn about.
yeah, exactly.
You know?
It's the whole anti-hero kind of mentality,
Mm-hmm.
because even though we go back to like Sons of Anarchy, like yeah, these guys are horrible people killing like every
Yeah.
day. Here's the thing, for us it was a weekly episode, but like each episode ended like where the other day just ended.
Right.
So these fools were like riding 12, 14-hour days, killing God knows how many people, high speed chases, killing, almost getting killed. they'll go home and sleep, and the next day they'll be like, all right, let's go and do it all over again. It's
I
like,
gotta pretend to fix my bike.
yeah, and it's just like, bro, can you for one day can I just see somebody from the MCs just like have a day off and just like chill at home? Like,
That would be a good Funny or Die skit. Like they're like, all right, dude, this was fun, but like tomorrow we're going to Golfland. Like
yeah,
tomorrow we got to clear our head.
like imagine, all right, gang, tomorrow we're gonna meet up with the Irish because we're gonna sell them some guns. I'm sorry, I already promised the missus and the kids I'm gonna take them down to Golfland. So can we skip this for Tuesday instead?
Yeah, yeah.
Fuck.
Wife's making a casserole. The in-laws are coming in from town. I got to be home by 6.
Listen, it's little Timmy's birthday. I can't miss it. My wife is gonna beat my ass.
I like how even in your scenario, it's little Timmy.
Yeah, there still is Timmy. Listen, this is
God
my
damn
son's
it,
birthday.
Tim.
It's Junior's. It's fucking Tim's birthday. He's turning 4. I mean,
You know he's a
haven't
little
been
pain
there
in the
last
ass.
few
We got to
years.
be good to him. You know, we just got to keep him happy because Tim is Tim.
Y'all are welcome to come. Just no meth, okay? No meth. God damn it.
Last
All
time
right.
Tim was crawling up the ceiling when he took that stuff.
Okay, meth, but only in the bathroom. Don't do it in public, please.
Yeah.
So,
But it's, you know, you know, we're into all these things that we're drawn to because it's exciting, it's taboo, it's naughty, you know. And at the end of the day, I think we want to like things, you know, that aren't. I've been like, I'm even like this with people. I blew a hair off my trackpad on my laptop.
it's okay.
Yeah, like might have looked weird, and and I totally kind of forgot what I was gonna say. Because this stupid curly hair on which was a beard hair, by the way, not anything else. But I kind of lost my train of thought. But I guess the point of this is that, you know, we're drawn to things that are rebellious and give us it allows us into a world that we wouldn't normally be able to get into ourselves.
Yeah.
And it's super interesting. I mean, like, you wouldn't want to fucking hang out with Richard Ramirez, but learning about all those notorious things and how it came up and came to be and rose to the name he became, you know, it's all very interesting, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Also doesn't mean you're a sympathizer either, which
No,
people that think that are just straight up stupid.
I'm not gonna freaking put him on the t-shirt and glorify him. You know.
No, but I
especially,
mean,
like,
history's history, man, and not all of it's
Yeah.
good. So, you know,
yeah.
I agree. There's a lot of shit that I'm into. It's super like kind of grim and stuff, but like I want to we'll probably wrap up pretty soon, but I want to. I'm still planning on doing a road trip. I want to visit all these haunted sites in Colorado. I also want to stay a night at the Stanley. So
Yeah, that's definitely a goal. Spend a night there.
well, I mean, hey, you know what? I really don't have a partner in crime yet, so maybe if we can plan it out. I was planning to do like a road trip though, so it would take like the better part of probably 4 days.
Okay.
But like I said, you know, if it's something we could potentially do, I mean, it all depends on the state we're in with things being open as well, because I'm not gonna want to do all that and then find out, oh, we can't stay at the hotel, and because the thing I want to do is there's a lot of weird, creepy things I looked up in Colorado, and some fun stuff too, but it's the Stanley Hotel literally does like straight up tours. And did you do the tour?
No, when when we went, the tour was I think they were all booked or they weren't doing it maybe because of like whole COVID thing.
Right.
But you can reserve it like
See, that's
on
what I mean.
time.
I'm gonna wait.
Yeah, you have to like reserve it.
Cause
But you can reserve it online. But you are free to walk around the premises, and you are free to walk around the like the lobby and the first floor of the
right.
Stanley. It's just like the second and third floor. Like they don't want no, you know, they want.
Oh, because that's probably where people are staying and shit.
Yeah, exactly. Especially at night.
I was gonna tell you, I did a little research, and apparently they do night tours where they take you in the cellar.
Ooh.
Yeah, which is not publicly available. it's like the Winchester.
Yeah.
The stuff you can look around and do, you got to go on a tour to see everything.
Yeah.
But like I never really thought about it, but like I said, we should talk about it more. Just because me and you are both into supernatural. I
Yeah.
mean, you even said ghost adventures, ghost hunters. Like my mom was super into that stuff, and that's another reason why this is
Dope
kind of
all that shit.
a trip like that probably me and my mom would have done or something. Like
Mhm.
super cool. And I'm no one else in my family's really into. Well, my uncle is into that kind of stuff, but no one really else is into it. I think maybe my sister, but my dad, my grandpa, they're just not their thing. So
Yeah.
that's why it's kind of cool. Like it was always me and my mom, and I just there's so much fucking weird, fucking creepy, haunted shit in Colorado, dude. It's any
Ooh.
mining states I think have just endless amounts of haunting stories and
Yeah.
like history. Like there was a big movement out to Cali with the gold rush, so that's why we obviously have like the Donner Party stories and all
Mhm.
these other stories of like crazy instances of people trying to get through in their lives. And man, it's like we talk about bitching about a layover on a flight, and it's like some of these people didn't even get to bring all the family they left with. It's like
Yeah. They're buried along the way.
grandma and auntie and maybe even the young kids. Not all of them made it, and dude, it's like that was his life. That was just the risk they took,
Mhm.
and then we complain about a layover. And it's just sometimes we got to take a step
Step
back
back.
and just kind of say,
Yeah.
look, man, sometimes I am as ridiculous as I feel.
Yeah.
We're pretty ridiculous. We're very self-involved, and we get in those moments where we think all this stuff going on right now is just affecting us. It's like, that's the thing that's helped me too is we're all in this shithole together.
Mhm.
So that kind of makes it feel better. It's like we're not alone, dude. We're all
No.
dealing with this weird crap. And even though it's weird, like at least we're all here and doing it together, man. Like
Yeah.
I'm not going anywhere, and we're gonna have hard times no matter when and what. But we just got to keep those lines open for each other.
You just reminded me of some of an incident. Let me see if I think the band's called Spiritual. Well, anyways, we myself and myself and our good friend Ray,
Mm-hmm.
we went to a show in San Francisco to watch this band one day, and I remember like it was the same day that Anthony Bourdain passed away,
Oh yeah.
allegedly.
Mm-hmm.
But that's another story.
Right.
Um, and I remember the singer for this band called Spiritual Cramp. He kind of, he's like, "Hey, we lost somebody today. He's not the first person we lost, and I'm pretty sure hundreds of will go unnoticed the same way he passed away. But this person was a celebrity." And he said something like, "I just want you to know that if you're feeling this way, just know that you're not. Everybody's going through it. You're not the only one. We're all going through it." And man, that just spoke to me so much. Like you're saying, like right now, we are just saying, like you gotta remind yourself that if you feel a certain way, there's other people also feel a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
You're not the only one. And I know our minds will tell us like, oh, your mind's playing tricks on you
Mm-hmm.
and everything. And and yeah, man, like that. I remember he said that, and as I was leaving the show, he was at the bar. I'm like, hey man, great set, blah blah blah. Shook his hand, and he's like, oh yeah, you're my friend now, blah blah blah. And then I ran into him at another show, like maybe 4 months later. Like he wasn't
Mm-hmm.
even performing; he was just there. And I go up to him like, "Hey man, don't you play in the band called like Spiritual?" He was like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Oh, I saw you open up, blah blah." And I told him, "Hey, that show, that's the day Anthony Bourdain passed away, and you said, we're all going through it. Hang in there. We're all going through it, and we're gonna get through this together." So I'm like, you know what? I needed to hear that like that day. So I'm like, thank you, man, for saying that because that's something I need to remind myself every day. I'm like, we're all going through it, and this is like 2019 when I see him when I saw him again.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember he didn't even say thank you or anything. All he did was just like, kind of like I'm imagining like what you're professors, like when you read the email, they just smile. He just smiled.
Yeah.
He just gave me a hug.
Mm-hmm.
He just gave me a hug, and that just meant the world for me.
Hell yeah.
Cause like, dude, you're just hugging a random person, but then again, there's this random person coming up to you, and he just hugged me. He's like, "Yeah, dude." He's like, "Hey, I'm always here." And I'm like, "I don't even know the guy. I don't even know his fucking name or anything, but he's there. If I ever need him, he's
Yeah.
there." So I'm gonna hit him up tomorrow for like $200. He's like, "Okay, bro." He said,
That's
"He
right,
said you're
dude.
over there. I need 200. I don't, but just to prove his word." But yeah, when you're saying that reminded me, like, yeah, man, we're all going through it. We all have our good days. We all have our bad days, but just I from a personal experience, I know how I felt to be alone and thinking that thinking crazy thoughts, but
Yeah.
I can say it's not true.
You know what else too, man, is idle hands. Like
Yeah.
our rough times, we weren't as creatively busy, and we also weren't as busy.
Yeah.
And if 2020 has taught us anything as a whole, is stagnant time by yourself is toxic. So,
Oh yeah.
we need to find activities, things to make us feel good, like walks, going outside, meditating, whether it's, mental, purely inspired with substance, because real meditation is purely mental.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's crazy to me that they can
Yeah.
get enlightenment and zen out just on I mean, I believe it. I really do. I just,
Yeah.
I holy shit, does that take discipline,
Yeah.
But doesn't mean it's not attainable or realistic.
No,
If it's
doable,
anything
man.
we've learned, it's like we said earlier, hard work and dedication. Those monks were just really dedicated,
Yeah, man.
and in a week, we're going to have more information to drop about more dedications we have. Because,
Yeah.
man, we are, if depression is stemmed from a stagnant laziness and not having things to do, then we are not going to be depressed for a long time, my friend.
No, we're gonna be wishing we don't have so much. No,
Exactly. We're going
we're
to be,
just gonna be
where's
so
that
stoked.
depression? I miss it. Yeah, no.
Yeah, no, we're just gonna be stoked, and we're stoked for it. I'm
Oh,
stoked for
dude.
it. I'm stoked with this project. I'm stoked with the L3 pod. I'm stoked with the new project coming around. I'm stoked for my buddy over at the Fourth Kind
Oh, yeah,
who
dude. And they're
they're doing
killing
their
it too,
stuff.
man. They got good conversational skills too.
Oh, it's just great buddies,
I'm
like
looking
high
forward
school
to see
buddies.
how that evolves too. The
Yeah,
fourth
same
kind.
same here. Like same here. See how it goes, and
Also, the
yeah,
significance of the name makes more sense to me because you guys said that was a street you grew up on.
yeah. We all used to hang out on Fourth Street,
Hmm.
so it's the
And see,
Fourth Kind.
I didn't even, as someone who just was trying to figure out the significance of the name, I wouldn't even have thought that. So I'm like, wow, that's an even cooler name because I do think it's a great name. But then now
Mhm.
that it is significance to that, I'm like, that's just exactly what you want in a
and
title.
then and then also because they're all into like conspiracy theories and shit like
They're
that.
all the same.
Yeah, so
Dude,
rather than we
they
kind
need
of
to hit
played
me
along.
up, dude.
Yeah, we kind of did a play along from the Fifth Kind, the movie where like the alien
Oh,
abduction.
was it, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, right?
No, well, there's a movie like is take place like in Alaska. It came out like maybe 5 years ago, 5 or 6 years ago, and I think it's called The Fourth Kind. It's like the
Oh,
fourth kind of interaction between you and a UFO. Is a really good movie. That
yeah,
girl
I gotta
from
check that out too. Then
yeah, 2009. Wow, it was way off. 11 years ago. Shit, not
2009.
even 12
Okay.
years ago. Fourth Kind, the girl from what's her name? The Mila
Kunis?
Kovo.
Oh,
Huh?
Mila
No.
Jovovich, the chick from
Yeah.
Resident Evil and Dazed and
Yeah.
Confused. Yeah.
And the fifth element, actually,
Oh,
talk
that's
about
right. She
numbers.
was the alien chick.
Yeah. So okay, so yeah, and that movie is actually called The Fourth Kind, also. So it's kind of like The Fourth Kind because it's the fourth from the Fourth Street, and then
I like it
the
though,
Fourth
because
Kind
it's
because we
personal.
kind of it's a play along with the conspiracy theory, and that movie is such a fucking mind fuck, dude.
Okay, I'll have to check that one out too. But I
Yeah,
seriously, I got a bug. If you remember, DM me on Instagram, Juan and your boys' Instagram handles.
yeah,
Because I know you got a million friends. I can't go through your list and figure that out. Um,
No, my Juan doesn't have an Instagram, but I'll
no, well, I
DM
kind
him.
of that makes sense. But like,
Yeah,
what does your boy have an Instagram?
yeah. I'll DM it to
I
you.
need to hit him up. I'll reach out to him because I feel like that's probably how it has to happen. I'll reach out to them. I'll
Yeah,
be like, "Yo,
absolutely.
guys, I know you're into this stuff, and I'm a weirdo too, so let's link up."
So let's be weird together.
Exactly. I'm like, I could spend 3 hours talking bullshit with you guys.
Yeah.
So
So
it's Juan and
my buddy from high school named Jesus.
Jesus. That's right. Okay.
Yeah, and then I'll be in it every now and then.
No,
Also,
I mean whatever, dude. I mean,
no biggie.
I could go by myself too. I could be lone wolf. I don't have to be, but like I ain't scared. I'm down. I'm down to hang out and give it a shot. You know. I mean, like I said, being a guest is kind of nice. You know, we don't have
Yeah,
to. You just kind of hang out and do your thing.
yeah, dude, absolutely. But yeah, I'll find the handle and then I'll
I mean, yeah, like not right now, and I'll probably bug you about it later. But I just wanted
absolutely.
a figure. I'm like, and also I want to remind you, keep looking into keep looking into Mystery Woman from earlier. There's something
Oh,
there, man.
dude,
There's something there.
she's it's bound to happen soon. Hopefully, there's
It's
something there, like you said.
it's gonna happen. We just don't know what it is. But
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. I'm telling you, I got instincts. I got gut. I got obviously, I got a gut, but we got good instincts, and I feel like a positive change or a positive instance is coming your way from this.
Oh, dude.
Honest to
Hopefully,
God.
hopefully. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'll definitely keep in touch with you if I find out about if anything happens
Yeah, I mean, we don't even have to throw it on here. I'm
with
keeping it
Mystery
vague.
Women.
This is selfishly for us.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
I'm throwing it out there so when you hear it again, there's some level of accountability. And this is
Yeah.
going to be on the internet, so it will be forever there to inspire you. I just want you. This is cool, man. I want to hear more of this. It's a feel good situation.
Yeah.
It's on the verge of interesting because it's unknown territories. You're going into a situation that's basically a movie, and that's also why it's alluring because I mean, I don't know, everything you've explained in the situation is basically every cool rom-com,
Yeah.
right?
I'm I'm pretty sure
I mean, that's basically
the
there's
premise
something
is
about
for so
Mary
many.
in a way, the
Yeah.
one that got away kind of thing.
Yeah. I was thinking also like How I Met Your Mother, same
Yeah.
situation. How I'm not sure how familiar you are with that show,
Well,
but
Bob Saget,
yeah, the main character,
Ted Mosby.
yeah, Ted Mosby, yeah, he was fascinated with some girl. He called her the slutty pumpkin. He just remember that
Oh
she
yeah,
was
and you
wearing a
never found
pumpkin,
out who it was. But then,
and
can you tell me how
yeah,
the show ended? Because I don't feel like watching it.
yeah, he met the mother.
Was the
No,
mother? What's her name? The mother was
no,
not the black haired chick.
it wasn't Robin. It wasn't
It
Robin.
was
The
some random
mother,
chick, huh?
yeah, some random. It was at Robin's and Barney's wedding. It was the bass player for at the wedding.
So, were you impressed with the way the show ended?
No,
I've heard that
no,
too.
I was kind of pissed off actually. Like it ended fine, but just like the way things played out, I was kind of pissed off. At first I used to like Robin's character.
Yeah, Robin.
I
There you go.
yeah, I used to love that character. But then she kind of did my boy Mosby, Ted Mosby, always led him on the whole, the whole series.
Yeah.
And then same thing with like Barney, which is what's his name's character, Doogie Howser's.
Oh yeah. I know who you're talking about. He was in
Yeah,
Harold and
just
Kumar.
yeah. Um.
Dude, I know exactly who you're talking about.
Anyways,
Blonde dude. I
like
know.
yeah, let him on the whole time,
Suit
and
up.
he kind of ruins. Yeah, and he kind of ruins some relationships also, in hopes. And at the end, they don't even they don't fall. Like she chooses her career and over being with Barney or whatever.
Right.
So and even that because they also did like an alternative ending because at the original ending, they just like they, he tells that he met the mother, at the train station after the wedding, and then he's like, and that's how I met your mother, and then that's like the end of the series. But then they did like an
Yeah.
alternative version where like the kids are like, no, obviously you're still in love with Aunt Robin, you should go find her, and he goes and like
Yeah.
they kind of hint that they're gonna try dating.
That's
So I'm
too
like,
feel good.
yeah, and I'm like, dude, that Robin's a bitch.
But you know what, dude? I never liked. So the way I looked at Ted was the same way. I know you didn't really watch Scrubs, but the guy who played Ted and Ted's character is totally like Zach Braff's character in Scrubs. He's just not a likable main character, and
Yeah.
I just never liked him. I always, and I didn't really like Robin either that much, so I always kind of like gravitated towards Barney and Marshall, and Marshall's lady was okay, but I never really liked her character in American Pie either. So I never really liked her character in that show at all. She was probably my least favorite, and then it went Ted.
Yeah, I the only one that kept that show going was Barney, who like for the life of me cannot remember the dude's name.
I'll remember it.
There. And then
Isn't it
Marsha's
Thomas or
character.
something? Or something? Huh? Michael or Thomas or something?
I know
Steven.
they abbreviate his name also. It's not like I can just not type in How I Met Your Mother.
But that feels like cheating.
Yeah, okay, you're right. Okay.
Let's end the podcast brainstorming trying to figure this out. This is totally not going to be good, but this is good for us. So let's try and figure out his name. Don't cheat. Don't cheat.
I haven't seen it. I switched.
No, I know. I believe you now, Danny. No, but
I want to say Lou Diamond Phillips, but it's
no,
not.
That's
but he has
definitely not.
He has like a three name. He has like a 3-name thing.
He does. He does have three. It is a 3-name.
I can't even. Okay, Marshall's character, Marshall, the actor who plays Marshall. That's He also came out in Freaks and Geeks.
Yeah, Marshall is Jason Segel, who's in Forgetting Sarah
Jason
Marshall.
Segel, there you go. Yeah. I Love You, Man. Also,
fuck, man, why can't I think
Patrick.
of it?
Okay, something Patrick.
Neil Patrick Harris.
Yes.
NPH.
Neil Patrick Harris.
Got it.
See, okay. Let me look it up over here.
I know it's right now, but it's just like
Neil
damn.
Patrick Harris.
NPH, baby.
NPH, yeah.
See, we ended on a high note, and we figured it out together. And you helped me figure it out because you said Patrick, and it's my fucking middle name, and I still couldn't figure it out.
No, and I'm like, okay, I know he has like a 3, and they even have like an 8, like an abbreviated name, kind of like
yeah, the acronym.
And I'm like, what is it? But yeah, I'm like, Patrick. It's something Patrick. I knew Patrick was something in there, and I want to say Neil Patrick. I was thinking Neil Diamond. Neil Diamond. And then I'm like, Neil Diamond Phillips? No, that's fucking.
Yeah. That's why you said. I'm like, why is he going back to Lou Diamond? Well, they don't even look alike.
Yeah, it was the 3-name.
Also, how did he come up with that? It has to be a stage name.
No,
Lou Diamond.
Lou Diamond Phillips. I don't know. Is there?
I need to look it up.
Is there a family named Diamond?
I doubt it, dude. Do you know any Native Americans named Diamond?
I haven't.
I don't know any Filipinos named Diamond either.
I'll have to check my my contacts.
How shitty ignorant am I? Like your name has to be like
it's something ethnic.
Yeah. Or like or relevant to your genealogy?
Yeah, it has to. Neil Patrick Harris. Anyways.
Yeah. Anyway.
Jason Segel. No, Patrick Harris. Yeah.
Yeah.
Neil Patrick Harris, and Jason Segel for me were the ones that made that.
Oh, 100%. I agree with that solely. They were the best parts of the show.
Yeah, absolutely.
I didn't care about Band Girl.
I can't even remember her name.
Me neither, and I'm happy.
I know she died.
Not in real life, and her character. Well, died. I know we can't all get what we want, but how the fuck did she die in the show? What? No fucking way she died in the show. Did she really?
Yeah, she.
Poor Marshall. He was probably so sad.
That's why she's telling the story. But yeah, like the mother died.
Wait, yeah, how did it happen? We don't have to go into the whole thing, but do you remember how it happened?
She had cancer. They didn't, I
Ah,
think they probably
then they
specified
killed her
what
off pretty
cancer.
strong way. I was really hoping it was a freak accident.
No, she died of like cancer like 5 years prior or
You know what
something.
that
It was a
means?
different
That
story.
that that means that she left the show respectfully.
Yeah,
Because
well, I
whenever
mean,
they kill you off sporadically or shitty, you did
yeah.
something bad.
But the thing is, like, with the character of the mother, they never really like the whole buildup of the show is how they met her, and so you really don't see the mom or who
Hmm.
the mom is
Yeah.
until like the very last season, and then it all leads up to them finally like meeting,
Right.
like talking. And even before then, like they already had killed her off, like, oh yeah, your mother died, of
Yeah.
cancer, and there's no idea, I don't think about her.
Right.
Just like, um, but yeah, Neil Patrick Harris, god damn it.
Well, and on that note, we end with Neil Patrick Harris, and hey, we figured something out, and we did it together. That's a
There
good
you go.
feeling.
Good man.
And we're gonna do this together again next week with you guys, and we thank you for your support once again. If you want to support us, feel free. tfthpod@gmail.com for any questions, concerns, or complaints. If you want to give us a 1-star review, feel free, because then we can read our own 1-star reviews on the Lone Star Review segment, which would be amazing.
We don't no longer have to rely on dildos or sex toys. On shitty sex toys.
And are we still talking about this podcast? Just kidding.
Yeah.
And we'll leave you with that, guys. So your imagination could do more than our words could ever do. So have a great night, and please, please be safe and stay classy, stay metal, and hang loose. We did all the single symbols except for this one. Merry Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
Love you.